into the ground.
Hello, and welcome to the Saladcast on Sunday, the 12th of July, 2026. I'm your host, Dan Train. Joining me today, Zachary Burgess.
After our extra week break.
And Robert Kemp.
No. That was right.
That was the sound of our week break.
That was the sound of my week break.
Sort of Doppler sound.
Yeah, lots of doppels.
So doppeled.
So doppeled, well doppeled. Doppler.
It was dappled with doppels.
Dappled with dopplers, yeah. And I guess I sort of somewhat stole that off. I know that is the noise of like an F1 car traditionally, but it's like Danny O'Dwyer does that at the end of every like Shift F1 podcast. It's just
okay.
As they sign off sound.
Just how loud is it?
Not that loud as
you
it
know
used
what?
to be.
Yeah, 100% that. Like, because this is the second time I've been to Silverstone, and the last time I went was during the Scream, you know, the really loud classic F1 engine era. Sort of. I mean, it was in 2010, right, with like Jenson Button and Lewis Hamilton in Mercedes McLarens, right, when Mercedes McLaren was one team, and yeah, those were flippin' loud. And now it's almost like the opposite. Like the higher the class, the quieter the car is, which is weird. Because I watched pretty much everything that was going on track while I was there. Because why wouldn't you? I'm there for the racing, yo. And the F3 cars are by far the loudest.
It's because they're still on old school tech.
Absolutely,
like, obviously
yeah.
the F1 cars are like hybrids now, basically.
Exactly. But the F2 cars are still regular ICE engines, right? But even they're not as loud as the absolutely mad F3 engines that were just popping and spitting all over the place. Yeah, they sound rad as hell. They also had that weird effect. I won't knock sound design in racing games quite as badly in future, maybe, because like as they're coming past you down, my seats were kind of interesting. So most of the noise was coming off Hangar Straight leading into Maggots and Beckett's, if you know Silverstone. So there's a bunch of noise coming off that. But like as they were going past, it did just sound like the same sound effect, like triggered like 20 times, you know, like someone's just sat there with a soundboard going meow 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 meow. They don't really there isn't a lot of variation in the noise as they're coming past your head, which is weird, apart from like the odd burble sputter and pop which some of them did as they went by. It was kind of weird like that. You're just like, oh, okay. I won't take the mix so much anymore. I have engine noises in games, maybe. That is just how they sound. Do you think
there's anything to when they were sputtering and popping, whether that team wasn't as well tuned, or I
don't know. I don't think so.
As smoothly.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, there probably is something to that, right? That when they are popping, that maybe the engine isn't running quite as clean as it should, because you didn't hear any of that from the modern F1 engines. It's like they were smooth as almost.
Right,
I tried
all the way.
I've tried to think about like how to even explain how the F1 cars sound, because they are weird. Like there's definitely an engine note to them, and they're definitely loud, but you know, nowhere near as loud as what they
are. They higher or lower pitched than like
lower
loud F3?
Yeah, they're definitely a lower pitch noise, but there's more of a bass whoosh to them, and I don't know if that's like the battery part of the motor. Like, is that just what that part sounds like? Or is it like because the tyres are so flippin' fat on those things that it's just what the road noise sounds like? It's really weird noise. Like it is kind of like, imagine a sort of standard like engine tone, I guess, but with this sort of like bassy like sort of underneath it. It's a fascinating noise, but not at all what I expected from like what you see and hear on TV. Like the presence of it is quite different. Yeah, it was rad as flip. Watching the racing was pretty cool.
What do you get to? Do you see? Was it a good zone for overtaking or something where you were?
Oh man, I mean,
is that important?
So yeah, I should point out like we had pretty sweet seats for this week because we got like a freebies for a hospitality package, which are ludicrously expensive as it turns out. So like super lucked out. but so the grandstand we were in kind of was Silverstone has a sort of weird, like, pinchy design, I suppose. Like, it goes, there's some flat bits and it sort of turns back on itself, so some part of the track is actually halfway round the track, gets pretty close to the hangar straight at Beckett's and Maggots. So off the start line, you come around the first turn, blah, blah, and then there's a little bit of a straight, and then it turns into a complex called Village. And our grandstand was kind of there, so you could overlook Village, but then to your left you've got the hangar straight and Maggots and Beckett's, and and for the actual race I could look behind myself in my seat because I happened to be on a sort of little pointy out bit of the grandstand, so I could see all the way down the hangar straight as well. And because there was no one behind me, I could just stand up and like look back that way and see the entire straight.
Sweet.
Like pretty good seats for visibility, but not they weren't super close to the track, if that makes sense.
Right, yeah.
And because of the weird design of Silverstone, you've kind of got to get over the fact that there was a service road in between us and Village. Yeah, because that service road is what actually leads directly to the where the pits are these days, to where the F1 pits are. Like, it's the only way through the inner track to where the current pit zone is, and it's like, so there was a service road right in front of us, which is all right, but we get to watch some like pure Sangues and DBXs and incredibly fancy cars occasionally drive up and down there.
Okay, so nice.
Yeah, slightly odd positioning, but like pretty good in terms of a lot of visibility, which I don't know. I think you treat watching the race in a very different way to how you do on TV, right? Because it's like, we still had a big screen in front of us so we could follow what was happening, and I believe it's the same video coverage as what you get on TV, but the commentary team is obviously different. It's not Sky's commentary team, for instance, and a little bit of shade towards David Addison and team. They're not as good as Sky. Let's be honest, no one can beat Crofty and Brundle. They're the kings. So you're sort of getting the same feed and the same information through the TV, but also you're like, because you're looking around the actual track next to you, you're sort of like going, I think you end up having a better handle on it, and your brain is way more engaged in what's happening, because you're picking out like, I know that sequence of vehicles, so that's going to be Verstappen being chased down by Norris, blah blah blah, and you sort of. Because you know where the positions are from the screen and stuff, it's like, okay, you spot the sequence of liveries come past here, and you're like, that was those guys. And you get better at spotting which of the two Ferraris are which, for instance. Like, I was like, that's Lewis's because he's wearing his yellow helmet today.
Right, yeah.
And it's just because you're that little bit more engaged in it all, you get a much better feel for what's actually... a weirdly better feel for what's going on. It's like, and that's not a knock
in the whole race.
Yeah, that's not a knock on the TV coverage at all. The TV coverage is amazing these days.
You've just got more information when you're if you've got the screen and you're in the
and you're just in it. You're surrounded by the sound. You're surrounded by a crowd who is obviously we're in Britain, so they were very Lewis heavy. Let's put it that way. A lot of Lewis support where we were.
Because that would have been my worry in the past of the technology or whatever, being that you'd be there, but you'd have less of information of what's going on than if you're at home. That's the worst.
I think because I was cheating. Well, not cheating, but like I was doing it the proper way, in my opinion. Which is the Silverstone radio is happening there, and they put commentary over an FM radio station. So I dug out an old Sony Walkman. Which happened to still have an FM radio in it.
Oh, wow.
FM. And brought some headphones along with me so I could, because obviously it's super loud, like actually being able to hear the commentary would have been tricky without it. They do put it over loudspeakers in the stands, but it's like when the cars are going past, you still can't hear it.
You can't hear it, yeah.
So I think having headphones and being able to tune in to what's going on is of huge importance. But yeah, I super enjoyed the race.
It should be like like in an aeroplane where you plug into your seat or whatever, and it should have.
Yeah, maybe. But then the grandstands aren't exactly high tech, right? They're almost like all of them are. Pretty much all of them at Silverstone are like just like the metal frames with plastic fold down seats on them. Like, they're not high tech in any way. Like, maybe even worse than like football stadium seats. And where I was sat, there was no coverage, so I got sunburnt to all hell.
Oh man!
I mean, I'll show Zach, but there is a lovely V-shaped burn on my just below my neck where I was wearing a proper shirt on the Saturday, and I was and I was wearing like a McLaren shirt on the Sunday, so that bit got covered up at least. But I was putting things over my arms like to try and stop the sun, and like because I realised after the first day that my application of the sun cream lotion was terrible. Basically, apparently I don't know. Apparently I don't know how to do it right. So there was like clear blotches all over my arm where like some of it was good and some of it was bad. But it's and I've got like the biggest like watch line you've ever seen in your life where when my watch is on my arm, and it's just this like white band around me. Yeah, so I got burnt to hell. Because both days were incredibly hot and sunny. And we were kind of facing into the sun, which didn't help. So anyway, the racing is awesome. But it wasn't my best weekend, mainly because we had Saturday and Sunday tickets, and I got food poisoning Friday night.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I know.
God damn, Rob.
What did you eat this time?
We think it was Ipswich McDonald's.
Well, okay. That probably makes sense.
Because Gnome had it too while I was away.
That's annoying because like McDonald's is like that's one of the things you could usually rely on.
100%. The thing is that the one in Ipswich has just had a renovation. The one at Asda, White House, basically. They've just had a renovation, and so I don't know what that means in McDonald's land. Does that mean like the staff churns because like they have to spend no one could be there for like a month, right, while they're doing this?
Yeah, probably.
So then they come back, and then it's a whole new set of staff, maybe. Well, maybe not a whole new set. They might bring some of the managers back. I don't know how it works, but anyway, yeah, they poisoned us basically.
Or maybe it's something about McDonald's, like if you haven't got the fryers on continuously, then it allows the bacteria to build up in them. Like, it's only because they're on like 24, well, not 24, well, sometimes 24 hours a day, but like, it's only because they're always hot that it prevents any bacteria from growing in it. And as soon as they've been on for like a week, it's like, now here comes the bacteria.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, so I didn't sleep at all Friday night because it was a very precisely timed, like, overnight thing where I spent pretty much the entire evening in this hotel bathroom, ruining it.
Sorry, Rob.
Well, yeah. So Saturday I had Saturday I was compromised because I was still feeling rough and had basically no sleep at all. So like towards the end of the day, I'm operating on like 36 hours. Like unslept, and so I was feeling bad at that point. And yeah, Sunday I wasn't much better. I was better, but not a long way from good. Let's put it that way. So yeah, it's a real bummer. It's like, just what can you do? Like it just happens, I guess. And like these probably once in a lifetime tickets, and and you just get ill because a kid in Ipswich spat on a burger accidentally. I don't know. Outrageous.
Oh, well. But you still were able to go.
As I was still able to go, yeah. And as I said, the racing is flipping sweet. But I just find I find the whole thing like a real hard recommendation though, because. Like, obviously, like I looked up the prices for things. Like, yes, I got thrown a freebie this time, and I'm super grateful for. However, I still don't really know how that all came together, but that's another story. So I'm super grateful for all of that, obviously. But like, man, if I was to pay the prices for just a grandstand ticket, let alone a general admission ticket, which a general admission ticket seems like a flipping waste of time. There's like nowhere good around the circuit to just pitch up a seat and sit, really. I don't know.
Right.
It seems pretty anti-general admission these days. Unless you just want to weirdly go into the site and sit with a crowd and in front of a TV screen, in which case find an F1 pub. You just go do that. Save yourself the hassle. Yeah, I don't know. It's the prices are insane. The thing I've seen come up on my social media like over and over again this year is how much they've jacked up parking prices. And it's like, well, obviously, I get it. Like, parking at events is frequently expensive because captive audience, I guess. It's like, if you've got to get there by that means, then sure, they've got you. But, like, when you're approaching a couple £100 for the day, not even a joke.
No.
That's... You're getting into stupid territory. And it's not like there are a lot of people there. This was like record attendance weekend for Silverstone, like 500,000 across the 4 days or something.
Wow.
So, like, admittedly, I guess that number doesn't count return visits or whatever, but over those days. But yeah, bonkers high attendance number. And also, I guess given my circumstances, my illness level over the weekend, the fact that they've effectively turned the whole site into a mini festival wasn't doing me any favours either. So it's like, like everywhere you go, there's like a thump, thump, thump of a stage and some music going on, and like just even where we were at in the where we were sat, like there was just music going all day. And it's like, again, if I was
no relief, so hot, I imagine, yeah,
and super hot, yeah. If I was in the right frame of mind, like I would have been having a great time. But like,
did they have like?
I just needed to chill
a few times, and they have like water stations everywhere because they know everyone's going to faint.
There are a few about, but not as many as I was expecting. Because I did have to go and find one at one point while I was just wandering around the site, and I did eventually stumble on one, which admittedly had like an absolutely massive sign, but I was kind of expecting there to be little pods just plumbed in everywhere. But there aren't. So that took some doing. Also, it's enormous. So if you do have like Silverstone's quite a long track. It's a high speed track, so it's quite a long track on the F1 calendar. But it's over 5K a lap. So if there were certain signposts everywhere where it's just like, oh, if you want to go here, that's at least half an hour of walking away. And I'm just like, oh my God, right. I'm so glad I don't intend to go that way.
Yeah.
You got to go round the track as well. There's only bridges at certain points if you're on the inner track. Anyway, it is a palaver getting about, but I'm just not so sold on the idea that like you need to turn the British Grand Prix into a mini festival, and with the money as high as it is. But the problem, I guess that's the problem. Like those prices are high because there's so many people there, and you don't leave them with a choice, so they're going to pay it. Even with ticket prices as high as they are, they're still maxing out. So what are they going to do as a business? It's just going to get higher and higher, and I'm never going to go again. Which is a real bummer.
Maybe that's partly why it's a big festival as well, because they are actually trying to increase the value, but that's not what some people care about.
No, I mean that's the problem. It's like increase the value does like they almost always comes back and bites them, and they outraise the ticket prices like a year later, right? It's like it's catch-22. Both go up at the same time. And I guess you have to luck out with if they've got the big Marks and Spencer's stage, which isn't a great name for a big stage, but whatever.
They're going to call it the Sparks stage or something.
Maybe, yeah, Sparks. That's much better, yeah. With your DJs, Marks and Sparks.
Yeah, exactly. With X's.
With X, yeah, of course.
Although not Marks, maybe.
Yeah, maybe not.
Communist.
Oh, yeah, true. But yeah, I guess if you luck out with who's on and you're interested in it, then sure. But otherwise I think it's a bit much. Like I'm there for the racing. I'm not there for anything else, really. The whole point of me being there. So if I could have a ticket that focuses on that and none of the rest of it, if I could have like just big black walls that I can't walk through.
Oh, you want the pure sport and none of the bullshit?
Yeah, pretty much.
Think that's possible in the modern world, no matter what sport.
Well, yeah. Despite what football fans talk about with VAR constantly and all that stuff. It's like, no, it's not pure sport. Anyway, I guess football is probably still the closest thing, right? To just a
Probably
sport,
still is, isn't it?
To just a pure sport event.
Well, or cricket.
Okay.
Because you just have to be there for several days, and it's like...
Oh, I guess if you're doing test cricket,
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
There's nothing else going on there apart from just more cricket. A lot more cricket.
A lot more cricket. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess horse racing isn't too bad, I suppose. It is a bit festival atmosphere,
Well, yeah.
but there's...
I mean, it's the reason why F1 and horse racing have that is because they're typically at places where they're in just a big load of fields, unlike football stadiums and cricket pitches, which are mostly in towns.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's...
Surely cricket is like compromised by like big strawberries and cream or something. You know?
Well, by now, probably.
Or something like that. I don't know.
What, you mean the Wimbledon enforcers just turn up to every cricket match and they're just like, nope, can't do that here.
Something like that. I mean, they all involve a lot of alcohol and like fancy champagne and stuff, whether it's horse racing or
Sure.
Wimbledon or and F1, of course. It's like you pour most of the champagne on the person on the podium.
Yeah, I guess I should pay attention to see how much of the champagne is left in the bottle after those celebrations. Probably not a lot. I don't know, not even sure they take it with them, right? They spray it over each other, like have a few sips and put it down somewhere, and then
There's no way they would
put it
want
down
to take
somewhere.
it with them. Like,
I
especially if you win a lot.
You've got a decent half a bottle of nice champagne left there that you could scoop up at the end, right?
Yeah,
And
easily
recover. I reckon.
Maybe like
I think
just
you're right. Probably the actual winners probably don't actually take those bottles with them anywhere unless they want to, but they probably mostly don't.
Maybe the staff next it and they're just like, I'm sipping from the same bottle Lewis did.
No, you sell it on eBay for massive profit.
Yeah.
This has got Lewis DNA in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Clone your children now.
Well, I was
anyway.
on a podium.
Oh, on a podium. What did you win?
Because I went for my work summer party, and one of the activities, the one that I went on, was go-karting. Yay!
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So the party, we went to Brighton on the seafront, which is nice on the sunny day. But then half of us got in a coach and went halfway back to London to Crawley to go to whatever team sport go-karting. And I haven't been for a while, but of course, naturally, indoor go-karting or whatever, everything's electric now. Of course it is. Because that's way better, right? And way less fumes. And although it does mean that basically the only sound is screeching tires, and that's it. Yeah. But yeah, it was cool. But I didn't they gave us the briefing and everything, how they have to do the video or whatever before the thing, as usual, just like with whatever, Laser Quest or whatever. But because it had been booked, for the company, I didn't actually know what the actual structure of the event was. They were you've booked a mini GP, and I was like, what is that? I don't know. And I actually didn't work it out until the end. Basically, it was total sense. It was just you had 2 runs out in your group on the track, and the first run was you were all going round, but it was qualifying. So it was the fastest lap time. And then the second time we actually lined up on a grid based on those times, and then it was a race, but they didn't tell me. So of course what happened in the first run was I constantly got stuck behind someone, so I couldn't set a flying lap.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Which if I'd known it was a qualifying, I could have sort of probably slowed down and then got a flying lap.
You could have made yourself some clear air.
Exactly, but I did not do that. And then, but I did manage to make up 2 places in the race, so that
nice.
That was good, and get onto the podium. Lol. Got a little plaque. So yeah, it was fun.
They are good fun. Last time I was it last year? I think it was the last time I go-karted. I don't go-kart nearly enough because it's hella fun.
It's really fun.
Yeah, I did it last year. It was on a petrol outside track.
Oh, that's cool.
And
I'd like to do outside.
Not too far from Bury. But yeah, it was rad. But we did what they did one of these GP things, except it was a little bit problematic for me, and I hit my stamina limit because it was there was a practice session like you, so we were just doing laps to get used to it, and then but they would be recording our times, and then they would use that for a grid run. And then I can't remember if it was like that was just one race, and then they did a reverse grid second race. I can't remember if that was quite how it was. Something like there was some system to it anyway. But yeah, towards the end, but the problem was they didn't take us out of the carts in between the sessions.
Oh, in between.
So it was one really long session.
Right, yeah.
And by the end of it, so one of two things happened, and I'm pretty sure it's the second explanation I'm going to give is the one that actually happened. But towards the end of the last session, I was having real difficulty getting my cart to turn left.
Classic.
Classic.
All because you can't turn left. There's an old in joke no one's going to get.
I don't even get it, and I'm part of the in-joke.
But that was because it's because you had a sidewind joystick.
Yes, it was Dan's sidewinder that was buggered.
Yeah, it stopped turning left properly, and it was all because we can't turn left.
So anyway, you couldn't turn left.
I couldn't turn left or right, but I couldn't work out if it was mechanical or not. That was my immediate thought was oh wow, this is. I suddenly am really struggling to just turn the wheel to the left. So my first thought
it was literally you had a dead left arm or something.
Yeah, I because afterwards, when we'd actually finished the session and we'd gone back in, it's my arms felt awful, and I hadn't realised while I was sat in the cart. But I got out and I'm just oh, these are gone. I'm actually gonna have to wait a while before I can drive home. I am messed up. So I wonder if my arm had just given in. I think that's, and I just couldn't turn the cart left anyway. Anyway, I was on for a really good position. There was about, a good 10, maybe 20 of us doing it, something like that. And I was maybe a bit less than that. But I was on for a really good spot. And then, completely fumbled it at the end.
Then, yeah, fair enough.
Just ran
it. Feels like they should have taken you out for a break, but they just
didn't. Yeah. I guess it was just how the day was planned or something. They just couldn't schedule it that way. But yeah, I would have much preferred it if it was a longer day just with breaks in between the sessions. Because then you get that whole thing where it's oh yeah, okay, we could look at the lap times and actually have a bit of, competition, a bit of bants in between. It's oh, you got me by a tenth. You got me by a tenth, you bastard.
Yeah.
That means I'll have you in the race. But yeah. Go-karting is freaking sweet.
It's cool. Maybe we should do it sometime.
We should totally do it sometime.
Give it all your experience.
Yeah, we should totally do it sometime. I'm not I may have done it quite a bit, but I'm claiming to be a great driver. I'm not a great driver. Not in real life. Put me behind a wheel on Forza, and this is a podcast about video games, and I'm all right.
I don't even drive a real car, and I did all right in the go-karts.
But maybe that helps.
Yeah, maybe it does.
Because then you're not used to the weight or whatever.
I was saying to people, yeah, that's true. I do feel like once the helmet's on and stuff, in my mind, I'm and I'm in it. I basically feel like I'm in a computer game. I don't really recognize that they're real people in the carts.
Yeah.
After 5 minutes, I'm just in it.
Yeah, absolutely. You that's completely. You zone in. You're just you're feeling the turns.
And if
you're starting to recognize it's I can push. The physicality of it is actually I think where some of my problems come from. Not just because of the stamina thing, but there comes a point where it's I really can push the G's on this turn way more than I would feel comfortable with under any other circumstance, right? It's okay, I can. This cart is actually capable of way more than I'm pushing it through. And then you hit the limit, and it all goes terribly wrong, and you're okay, mate, I'm misjudging this.
Well, the trouble with go-karts, I think, is that because they're obviously way smaller and lighter than actual cars, it's you have a massive range of grip, but then it ends immediately and then you just fail. There's no middle area of that where you're you start sliding.
Which is why it's a feeder into open wheel races for for the F1 drivers and stuff like that. Because that's very much what an actual race car does.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. Maybe. I couldn't tell how dumb the carts were, these electric carts, because it felt to me that when you lost grip, that they wouldn't allow you to pile on the power. You know?
Oh, interesting.
I
What,
think
they had
maybe
some
there's
kind of traction
sensor.
control or something.
Yeah, or not proper traction control, but something that just detects that.
Yeah, some sort of like,
slipping.
you're in trouble.
Rather than managing it, it just says, "No, I'm not going to give you power for 2 seconds." Not fully, but it's like I could skid and then come out of the term and floor it, and it just would not respond for like fully for 2 seconds or something.
Yeah, that's
which makes sense, right? I suppose.
No, I don't want that. I don't want that. It doesn't feel good because you're drifting quite a lot in go-karts. Like actually, like if you're really pushing it, you're sliding about quite a bit, especially on an indoor circuit. I imagine because that floor is probably fairly slippy.
It was. You could definitely go sideways, but I don't think you really have the power while you were going sideways.
Well, I mean, sometimes it depends on how because I don't think I've done electric karting. I've done petrol karting. But even on those don't have a system like that, I don't believe. But then, so you go into a drift, and it might just be like the snap of your, like, because you're the snap of it, like then going forwards. It's like you are actually slow at that point, right? So sometimes it just feels it takes a while to get going.
Maybe I'm overthinking it. Yeah.
But in an electric, you'd think it would be more instant, right? More you can feel this.
Yeah.
Not like you have a torque problem in electric cars.
Yeah. But yeah, on the arms thing, it definitely was like, I need to, slow and go smoothly around the corner is the fastest or whatever overall. But it's like, no, you can just like yank it. Just yank the wheel and you can basically go around the corner.
Absolutely thrash it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Motorsports / slightly into video games there.
Brad is flip.
Is a podcast about video games.
Do we want to have a very quick I know it's going to be a long one. Do we want a very quick TV segment?
Oh, TV, go on.
Zootropolis 2 is a good film. Just going to put that. I watched the second one. It is a good film.
Is it?
It's almost funny. Turned around and said like, that's probably funnier than the first one.
Okay.
It's quite.
Is that suitable for your son?
Absolutely. Yeah,
I presume so. Yeah, was he into it?
No.
Suitable, but he didn't care.
I mean, it is a little bit, but not so much. For some reason, like films just don't grab him particularly.
Too young, I think.
He did kind of sit through Despicable Me 4 with myself and Gnome, which is less good. Like, I think it's like the concept is definitely wearing thin. And I don't even think they did the Minion stuff I'm normally a sucker for. I quite like the Minions shtick. But like, I don't know, it wasn't as strong this time round. They might have done too much of it.
Probably, once you get the 4.
Which is technically the 5th film, right? Cause they did
they're
the
doing
Minions
spin-off films, aren't they?
Yeah,
Minions and Monsters or something in the cinemas.
Oh, is there another one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, there's 6 films then.
Don't know. Infinite Minions.
So that was less good. In TV land, I watched Netflix's The Amazing Digital Circus. I went in on that.
Netflix is The Amazing Digital Circus.
Okay.
Yes.
It's available on Netflix, but yes, I know what you mean. Like it's a YouTube show, really, that Netflix got hold of. But they like. Everyone was super excited because they did a theatrical release of the last 2 episodes or something.
Which apparently was a whole mess, from what I heard.
Oh, okay.
The release got leaked and stuff, and there was all kinds of situations going on there. But I guess that was maybe more on the YouTube, the Netflix side.
But I quite like that show. It's quite good. It's quite fun in that it plays with like video gamey / 3D world tropes a little bit. There's very much a existential crisis layer to the whole thing, which is, I was about to say entertaining, but it's not. But that's kind of the crux. That's kind of the hook of the whole thing, and what's really going on with the world and blah 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 blah. It perhaps gets a little bit too Gen Z-y. Let's talk about our feelings in a way too frequent basis for my tastes. Like, it's not that it's badly done per se, but like perhaps it's a little too heavy with that. And the ending section. I won't describe what happens in the ending, obviously, but they go off in a sort of abstract kind of way that I kind of dug. Like, it's like, it wasn't like a lot of the rest of the show. They were going in they were showing things more in a symbolic way at times. which made it harder to follow. So I can sort of understand why there was some fan backlash against the ending, because it's just like, okay, this isn't as light-hearted or as accessible, perhaps, as the rest of the season was. But I kind of dug the abstract nature of it. It's kind of interesting, nice visual representations. Let's put it that way. That you can parse out and go, oh, this is kind of neat. But I do kind of miss, like, it wasn't joke heavy. It was quite intense. Let's put it that way. A finale. But yeah, it's an interesting little show. Hopefully, Glitch, or no, Gooseworks. Sorry, Gooseworks Glitch were helping put it together. Hopefully they go on to make some other stuff. Because I enjoyed my time of it, and the cosplay community clearly enjoys their time with that one.
Okay. Always crucial.
Yep. You've got to hit. And I'm watching some other show at the moment, but I'll get more into that before we talk about it again. Anyway, there's my TV roundup. Let's get it out of the way.
Cool.
Video games.
All right. Yes. Video games. It's time for the news, but, not the boring, the political news of how everything's terrible in the world and all terrible politicians and wars and all these awful things.
Support
this is a
Count
podcast about
Binface.
video games.
Support Count Binface.
Yeah. None
Not
of
quite
your
local
Nigel
news.
Farage horror. This is video games, which is a fun pastime, and now it's only exciting news about new games announcements and stuff. So yay, let's do the news.
Well, let's
Rob, what's the top story?
Let's talk about half disappointments first, because we haven't actually talked about Steam Machine on the show yet, I don't think, since it came out, and the sort of somewhat lukewarm reception of it. I think it does exactly what it says on the tin, but the high price tag and the Valve's initial claims that it's this thing is a 4K gaming machine, and it's it's 4K with a whole bunch of caveats, kind of thing. It's kind of rubbed people up the wrong way. And I get it. The Steam Machine is, it's a victim of circumstance. It's a victim of the of the climate. It's a very expensive machine, but you wouldn't be able to build anything at that power level for cheaper, I guess. I get the only alternative you have in that price range that is significantly more powerful is a PS5 Pro, right? So even in the console space, it's going to struggle. It was always going to struggle, if you went pound for pound against the big boys. But yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer because had timing come out a little different, it sounds like this may have been a really good idea for a subset of people that are into the Steam marketplace and wanted something for their living room, but I'm not 100% sure it hits that at the price it's got.
They got screwed over on the price, basically. Nothing they could do, and yet that is gonna mean it's not a successful product, I think, due to the price that they can't control.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Absolutely.
I don't think it's not like there is a competition, anyone else trying to do a similar product, really, unless even the consoles, if you consider them a similar product, are putting up their prices.
Yeah. There is the silver lining, I guess, is that SteamOS went available, right? Properly available during this. Yes, there's been ways to do it already, but I think now it's so if you want to go and build your own Steam machine, help yourself, go do it. If prices do come down on materials and stuff, there's an option to go do the living room thing yourself now.
I would say that the Steam Deck is a success. It may not
100%.
be massive numbers, but I think it's a success.
Yeah, but even that's in trouble now because of its
exactly.
It's had to have some epic price rises.
If Steam Deck came out now, it probably wouldn't be as much as a success as when it did come out due to the circumstances. Right?
Yeah, exactly that.
So maybe the thing is they weren't ready and they should have not that it matters, but been ready to launch Steam Machine when they launched Steam Deck. But they had to keep developing the Proton and everything. And
at this point, even a year earlier might have been quite a different picture, right? If they were ready this time last year.
But there's nothing to be done about the state of the hardware crisis.
No, unless you can destroy all corporations in one foul swoop. Good luck to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So yeah, shame about that, really.
Yeah.
We've still got the Steam Frame to look forward to at some point this year. We don't really know, like...
Quite a niche product, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't really know how that's...
VR in general these days.
I don't know if they talked about pricing for that yet at all. So, like, I guess nobody really knows what this is targeting.
I mean, everyone knew that was going to be expensive, like, of the products.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
It was going to be... Yeah.
So, yeah, maybe we've got another, index on our hands that it might be just slightly too expensive for mass consumption. Right, yeah, that's the Valve side of things. No one's getting away from scot-free this week. Let's talk Sony next.
Nope.
Sony have had a number of, let's say, not good news stories around them the last 3 weeks. In calendar order, I suppose. First of all, PlayStation Store users are going to lose access to a bunch of movies that they may have bought on the service. Purchased on the service, not a hire or anything like that. Like films you've bought through PlayStation Store that from Studio Canal due to a licensing lapse. So Studio Canal films will not be available to you if you bought them. And it's like, well, that's a bad look. Like, that's a knock against going towards digital marketplaces, huh? Cough, cough. Sony are going to stop making physical discs. So you're going to be stuck with their digital store. After they just kind of effed up the digital store. So, like, yeah, it's like the timing is like... Mwah, chef's kiss, awful.
I don't know what that.
Well, PlayStation Network was always the shit one anyway. It's like they've always been like full of the classic like hacks and whatever.
Sure,
of PlayStation Network over the years. They were always the worse off one on the digital side anyway.
Yeah,
I mean the first one with the Studio Canal thing, obviously it's the timing thing, isn't it? But I feel that needs to be. I feel like the law needs to change, whether it's national or EU kind of law needs to change so that you can't, because the license, they need to like give you a perpetual license, right, to the thing when you buy it. But
that's the thing. You've never, like video games have never had that. Like even the physical ones, right? You technically don't actually own the game. Kinda, like you're kind of buying into a license agreement. It's sketchy there because of like the law of actually having a thing. But
I mean, the obvious problem, apart from everything always being hidden in like terms of service or whatever, is that just like they're still allowed to put the words like buy and bought and stuff.
That's what I mean.
It's like technically, like I'm sure it's in the license and the terms and conditions that like what buy actually means, and then there's a whole legal paragraph. Where it's like,
or maybe they're very careful about the use of the word purchase, right, rather than buy, like that you purchase the license, or something like that.
But even then, it's just like that's the problem, right? It's like you're using a regular word to mean something that it doesn't actually mean to the majority of people, and then like if people understood what you're actually saying more. But no one reads the terms of service, which is its whole other issue. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know if this has happened to the main console on this scale before, right? Sure, we've had delistings, right? When
for games,
when publishers can't don't have a license agreement to the music or the cars, for instance, that are used in the game. They don't have a legal ability to sell new copies of that game, right? Which is a problem. It's definitely a problem. But this is a little different. Like, at least in those circumstances, what generally happens is the storefront still hosts those games, right? So if you own, quote unquote, own a license to that game, you can still acquire your game, right? The reason I can still play Forza Horizon 4, right, on a digital copy. Like, I bought that game while they could sell it to me, therefore, and I could download it freely. Great, lovely stuff. Probably is. I mean, it's a bummer. No one else can buy it, but still, I have access to the thing I bought. This is totally different, like because you can't access the thing you bought, and that sucks. This is more closely attributed to like the stop killing games, I guess. Movement,
kind of.
Yeah,
but that's a whole other problem.
That's a whole different problem because of live service, right? Like if you kill the live service, it's like then the game goes away. Like is that the same thing? Like, yeah. I mean, it kind of is in a way, but
But it's interesting that the controversy with this was movies, which definitely don't go away. There's no live service movies, right? Like, it's quite clear that if the next day you wanted to watch your copy of Terminator 2 and you couldn't, that something is up, right?
Yeah. It's understandable when something goes off Netflix, right? Because I haven't paid to specific.
Yeah. It's totally different.
Yeah. I haven't bought my, that series that I'm watching, and it suddenly disappears and goes, balls, I can't finish that. Like, that's different.
Exactly.
Like, I haven't bought that directly.
Except for the services that do that, like when they have a, rent or buy on a service like a Netflix or a
right.
Google Store
Amazon's obviously the one
like,
for that, right? Like, Amazon definitely has rent or buy on everything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I don't know if that's happened to Amazon yet. I don't know if Amazon have had a delisting.
I bet they have. It's probably just been a silent couple of things here and there from specific companies or whatever.
Or maybe they've had a delisting, but not a preventative delisting, if you know what I mean. If you have the license to that film, maybe they're still able to host it still.
I know, like, Netflix are, like, probably just as mercenary or more so than any of these big companies, Amazon or whatever. But the fact that they don't have the buy thing makes me like them more.
I know,
and, like, I know what their service is, right?
Exactly.
Not that it's confusing, but it's like, there's something about the Amazon buy or rent, and you can even do, like, you can buy movies on, like, YouTube. But it's like, who would do that? And it's, like, weird because, like, YouTube is a good, they will, serve you 4K video pretty well, right? In theory, like, why not buy a movie on YouTube? But then it's like the same problem as Amazon is like the quality of whatever they have to buy in that thing is always shit or whatever for some reason.
I think I might have only ever done it like once or twice, like through Sky Store, right? And that was when something that we really wanted to watch was like £1 or something. And then it's like, have £1. I don't care.
Fine. Have a quid,
Yeah. But every other time I see that come up, and I'm like, no, that pisses me off. That feels like a gatekeeper, like because I'm browsing this service I already pay for, and you go, oh, you want more money? Fuck you. That's immediately how my brain goes. Like I get it from a business standpoint why they're doing that, but my brain immediately goes, no, f you. Like it's
because Netflix and Spotify and the others, they want you to forget that you're paying them every month and sort of try and bury the fact that they're increasing the monthly price constantly. But they want you to just have inertia and like, and when you're using the platform, you're not thinking about the fact that you're constantly paying. Whereas, the Amazon one, or like, it feels much more like a shop all the time where they're constantly trying to...
The ads on Amazon thing as well, like they just rub it in. Like Amazon have got bad. Like, okay, like, we just watched all of, like, Clarkson's Farm Series 5, like, on it, which, we still love as a show. But, like, every time you start that thing and, like, halfway through the episode, there's, like, ads. And it's, like, on a service I'm paying for. And, like...
I've been paying for this.
And there's, like... Yeah. And there's an uplift to get rid of the ads now. And it's, like, that's terrible. That's terrible. Admittedly,
what a world.
That's kind of what Sky has always been. Let's not forget the elephant in the room for UK TV, right? If you pay for Sky, it's like you get all the ads.
They have pay-per-view.
You pay for Sky is pay for ads.
I can't be doing with that. But I mean, it worked for many years, didn't it? They bought ITV. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Sky.
I do wonder what the ramifications of that are.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see. But this is not TV news. This is video news.
But yeah.
So, and I don't know if it was coordinated, but it was not an accident that PlayStation announced they'd stop making physical discs like a week after Rockstar said Grand Theft Auto 6 will not have physical
discs, yeah.
Yeah.
Well...
Because I think
unrelated though, it's not that Grand Theft Auto is coming out after their cutoff for making physical discs, because that cutoff is like the start of next year.
No,
but I think it cushions the blow because everyone wants Grand Theft Auto 6, and they kind of expected this. I mean, one of the reasons for Grand Theft Auto 6 not to have a physical edition at launch is to prevent leaks and shit like that, right? So they can have more control.
And also, like, in fairness, if you look back at like Red Dead 2, right, that thing was already shipping on 2 Blu-rays. Because its install was so massive.
Oh yeah,
and it's
absolutely.
like, okay, we're probably getting to the point where it's like it's just not possible to put it on physical when you've got those games of this size. Not until we come up with a new physical format.
Well,
that
I
can
mean,
deal
that's
with it.
part of the whole thing about the obvious arguments around not making physical discs. Is like people are like, oh, you can't own your games any longer. And it's like, realistically, you haven't bought an actual full video game for like 15 years at this point, even on a disc.
Because what's on the disc is usually garbage. Right?
It's either at the start it was like day one patches, and now games are just bigger than discs, so you don't even have all the data anyway.
And like,
which in fairness isn't true of Nintendo. Nintendo are still pretty good at this.
Yeah, they're good. But, like, no one is, like, hates Valve because Steam doesn't give you a physical copy of the games you've been buying on them for 20 years or whatever.
But Valve have a flawless track record.
Right, exactly.
Essence.
That's the thing.
Sure, they have delisting, but, you've always had access to your stuff. And, so
it can be done well. And I do think in terms of literal physical media that you can put like on your shelf or whatever, I actually think discs are actually, it's funny, discs are actually annoying, and like it's actually come back around to where like Nintendo were right all along, and the Switch cartridges are actually better, and you could probably get a lot more if you wanted to put the whole game on physical media.
You could.
Some kind of flash storage would make more sense. I mean, of course that's not going to happen.
Were it not for the current flash and RAM and memory crisis in general, like these things might have been like cheap right now, so perhaps that wouldn't have been a problem to ship your games on cartridge, right? Maybe you still have to install them to something faster, but like chip memory on a could have been cheap right now.
I mean, my PS5 is a base PS5 with the disc drive, and the main reason I think there's two versions, right? The PS5. But the base PS5, is that right?
I mean,
non-disc one.
I mean, if you start factoring in Slim, then there's more. But yeah, basically base. There will be SKUs of different hard disk size, and then there's the version without the CD drive. There's the version that comes with the CD drive. You could get the drive separately, then add it on to a base PS5 without one.
Can you get a separate drive for the PS5? Oh, amazing!
So if you don't have one, you could just buy it and slap it on.
Interesting. And the PS5 Pro does not have a drive. You can't get
it. It does
one.
not.
But I mainly got the disc one so that I could play Blu-ray Ultra HD 4K movies.
Cool.
I've got Lord of the Rings on that, and it's definitely better quality than anything to download.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
I don't know why. It's just because it's not offered, right?
Nice. Yeah, I've never messed with 4K Blu-ray. The Xbox can do it as well, but like I've never actually. I don't own a 4K Blu-ray.
What should I get? I've got Lord of the Rings, extended editions. I've got Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, cool.
I've got The Matrix and Terminator 2. So Studio Canal cannot take that away from me because I've got it on
how does The Matrix look on those? That must have... I mean, that's like in that sort of like... The upscale must be kind of odd.
Well, I don't know. It's probably film with less good, lower resolution digital effects, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I guess maybe that scales quite well.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, and Lord of the Rings is from the same time, isn't it? Like 2001, 99, isn't it? But like I have, in practice, like I have Wipeout Omega Collection on disc, and I stick that in the drive, right? And I keep it in the drive, and it's actually really annoying because it fucking spins up every time I turn on the machine, even though I'm not playing it, and it's really annoying.
Well, it has to do a disc check.
That's the other thing. It's like, exactly, it has to do a disc check, and it's like, discs, like flash cartridges, no moving parts. That is like objectively better, smaller, no moving parts. Sure, I think objectively are better if you're going to have a physical media. But then I'm actually all for ditching discs.
Yeah,
but
I don't like the lack of competition in the digital space on console. Like, as Zach sort of said, the PlayStation Store is kind of like the worst of the storefronts, like in terms of from my experience, in terms of the deals they've offered on games I've been after, and in terms of obviously the hacks and the delivery and stuff like that. It's
I mean, they do have
the
sales,
worst.
but they're not
that great.
They're not on a level with like
Steam.
I
mean, even the Xbox ones aren't brilliant. I will say to that, but at least their content delivery network seems far more competent than PlayStation's.
What, to like download the game?
Yeah, like speed of downloads and stuff like that. Okay, maybe that's improved over the years, but that was kind of a thing for me at least back in the day, where like PlayStation download speeds were awful. Maybe that's okay now. So yeah, okay. I'll take that one back. I'll take it back.
I think that one's okay because it's like I find that similar to Steam in that downloading a game on Steam or like on the PlayStation, that's probably the thing that saturates my broadband the most.
Right? Yeah.
Anything,
Steam's always been amazing with download speeds. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing for me is like if they're no longer making discs for games. Like, what happens if you run into the situation where a game is delisted and the only way to acquire it is through getting a physical copy? I'm currently in the market for trying to find a copy of Onrush, for instance, because I loved that game when I played it. I've played it on both Game Pass and PS Plus. That game is now delisted. I'm not really sure why, presumably music licenses, I guess. And it's like, so my only way of acquiring a copy that I could play again is to get hold of a physical disc. Not that difficult, but that is the only way I need to go out and do that. In an era of delisting for certain titles, it's like, short of waiting like a couple decades for emulation to catch up, I'm boned. Like, if this was the case where, if Don Matrick had had his way, I'd be boned right now if I wanted to play Onrush. So yeah, I kind of think this. I'm very much in the this sucks camp. Like, I get it from Sony's.
Definitely bad.
I get it from Sony's perspective, right? What's the stat now? Like 15% of Sony game sales are actually physical. Yeah, so it's physical, like it is a low percentage. And obviously the margins on physical are terrible compared to digital. Like, I get all of that. I get the business decision here, but it still blows.
Yeah.
For the fans. You know what I mean? For the fans, man.
I mean, really, like...
I'm still buying new games physically.
Well, yeah. Nintendo ones. In my case, I still buy the cartridge, even if I could get it digitally.
Yeah. That box art on the Star Fox, ooh, it's tight.
But the thing of it, like, the thing that the console companies would never do, which is, like, that you can do on Steam, which, is probably kind of irrelevant, is, like, actually, once you've downloaded the files, you can back those up. Like, you can take the game as it is installed on your hard drive and just put those files somewhere else.
Yeah, put it somewhere.
But consoles are never going to let you do that in any way.
And on PC, at least, then there's an amazing communities for keeping old games running on PC. Like,
yeah, but then the question about that for like Steam's aspect is like, hopefully we're never going to find this out if Steam goes away one day, but like, how easy is it to bypass whatever the DRM layer is?
Sure.
If you had the fully installed game files on your hard drive from an old Steam game, how difficult would it be to actually get that working again? Because like most of the files are there.
Valve have always said, and I believe it's still in their TOS somewhere, that that if that event were to happen, they would provide a means by which you can achieve that. Which God knows how they would, honestly, because like how many license agreements with how many publishers are they going to have to go through to make sure that happens? Yeah, like that's insanity in like from a legal perspective.
Because technically, because Steam has offline mode, it's not necessarily like an always online check. I mean, there's probably a time limit on that, I assume. I don't actually know what the back-end system is for Steam's offline, but I would guess if you set yourself to offline, I guess there's probably a time limit where it has to do a check-in.
Yeah.
Because that's how it used to work on the Xbox system, right? When they were doing that kind of online check-in. It's like
there still kind of is something like that on Xbox, right? Because your primary console can be offline for pretty much forever, as far as I'm concerned. But but then games then have to run under your account offline. Or anyway, there's some rules.
There's a check-in system.
There's some stuff there.
So presumably that's the case on Steam as well, as I would guess.
PlayStation, I remember being pretty lax on that, at least back in the day.
Yeah.
So if you had a game installed on your system, it would just work. It almost didn't phone home.
But then, I mean, it still feels even more variable on Steam because occasionally you'll find those cases where you can just, even though it's a game you got on Steam, you can just run the exe outside of Steam and it will just work. Sometimes without even linking into the Steam
firing
systems.
up Steam.
Or sometimes it will try and link into Steam if you just run the exe by itself.
That's been my experience, right? It tries to start Steam and keep it. And,
I'm sure that's because they've standardized that system more nowadays.
They've done a proper integration with Steamworks and whatever.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like, that would be not really a solution, but it would make people more happy than they are now to be able to like say that at least once you've downloaded all these files, you have the files.
Yeah. And then maybe the community can figure out how to run it later.
Yeah.
You know? there's at least that element to it. Like, okay, you're allowed to download as much as you want. We've got all the files. For most games, the community is going to figure. Well, for most games, people care about. Let's put it that way. The community will figure it out.
I mean, it's technically,
and maybe there'll be like just a global like Steam drop-in replacement.
Sure.
Like, should it get that bad?
I mean, technically, even at this point, it's theoretically possible. Like, if you just had a PS5 and you downloaded a bunch of games and you just kept that hard drive into the future, even when, like, if the PSN went down or whatever in the future, you'd still technically have all the files. You just have to emulate PSN, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to trick it into thinking systems were still up.
I mean, I believe that's how, like, the storefronts on Nintendo like hack
right the older
kind of work.
Like Wii and stuff.
Yeah, like the 3DS one is okay, it's a super rudimentary UI, but like it just like they've made a sort of like little storefront for like, what 3DS game are you after? Oh, you want this one? Okay, great, just click it and go, and it will install it to your console, off you go. But you have to have hacked your 3DS to do that, right? And I think the same applies to like Wii and Wii U. They've done similar things there, so that they're running a storefront effectively. Just outside of Nintendo.
It's like it's theoretically possible to do, assuming there's no. It's like the only problems with that is obviously once you get into things like encryption and stuff, where it's like you can't really reverse engineer that.
Not easily, no.
Unless we all get onto quantum computers in the future, and then that solves that problem.
And then nothing is private forever.
Yeah, it's
if quantum ever happens, everyone will just go physical again.
Yeah, maybe that would be the solution. So yeah, it's
you have to buy arcade cabinets again.
You just have to have computers that are no longer connected to the internet at any point.
Yeah, exactly.
Complete black box.
Yeah, this won't work unless it's air gap.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a sort of a big deal that they're going to stop making discs, but realistically not really a big deal.
Well, I mean, none of the others have stepped up and said that they want any part of this yet.
Well,
I wouldn't be surprised if Xbox suddenly goes, "Oh yeah, no, this is obviously we're going to do this."
Yeah,
because they wanted to do it back in 2013.
For Xbox, it will be with the next console, presumably. It's just PlayStation is slightly out of phase with this.
Well, yeah, Helix poses a very weird proposition anyway because of its storefronts, and we don't really know whether it's going to be like, oh, can you run Steam on this thing? Yeah. Like, we still don't really know enough about what that is. But anyway, it's just kind of a bad. I mean, it's a doubly bad look if you remember back in 2013 with was it Shuhei Yoshida and Adam Boyes doing the
very funny.
Here's how you share video games, and they hand a physical disc over to him, which at the time was like, oh, this is such a great diss against Microsoft and all its DRM nonsense, and PlayStation are the ones to be doubling down on it. Like, it's
they must have known that this was a risk. It's the same as the. Like Samsung being like making fun of Apple, being like, we've still got a headphone jack because we're not idiots. We're not going to take that away from you. And then like, we still include a charger in the box with your phone. It's like, yeah. Of course they were going to remove those things.
Yeah, and then they did.
Just going to follow Apple.
I lament the lack of a headphone jack in my Samsung. So
my one still has one because it's older.
Shit, yeah.
But they could have seen, they knew that was coming. Like, the Apple did that. I know, and they did it. I know they had the, enough cachet that they could annoy their consumers a little bit, but they knew that, like, it takes up space and it makes it harder to make the thing waterproof, etc., etc., etc. So they were like, it was inevitable that would happen with all phones.
Of course.
It's just that they were like, when you do that marketing thing of, oh, we'll make fun of them for doing the anti-consumer thing, it's going to bite you.
I guess it's harder, but not impossible. I watched a review of Trump Mobile That thing has a headphone jack and it's waterproof.
Well, so they say.
Well, it's just an HTC phone, sure. Right? Like, so it's like, yeah. It's HTC. It's still doing it. They're still holding on.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
For however old parts they've been using to make that thing, presumably.
Probably about. I think they said it was like at least 2 years old or something. A rebranded 2-year-old HTC device is what the Trump mobile is, with an incorrect number of stripes on the US flag. But
Seriously.
Yeah. There's one too few stripes on the US flag on the logo of Trump.
They missed a quality, did they?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's hilarious.
Shocking. Anyway, you'd think this would be the worst news for this week, but it isn't.
Oh boy, is it not. Yeah. So, oh god, where to even begin on the Microsoft side of things? Right. So, first of all, another price hike incoming for the Xboxes. It is going up by a whopping $150 in the US for a Series X version. Bringing the cost for the base Series X, if you want to call it that, to $799. Right. Which is only $100 off a PS5 Pro, right?
That's mad.
Something like that. So that's getting... They're in a bad position, and it's getting... Like, you're not helping yourself, Microsoft. You're not helping yourself. They are discontinuing the 2 terabyte model of Series X, which I didn't even realize was a thing, to be honest. There was a SKU of the Series X that had twice the hard disk space. That is
2 terabyte.
Had a 2 terabyte, yeah. So that's being discontinued.
Oh, right,
okay. As I said, I didn't even know that was a thing. But that's not the big.
You're going to need that if you want space to put Grand Theft Auto 6 and not have to uninstall everything else.
Oh, and any of the Call of Duties, I guess. Like, yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But that's not the worst of it. Microsoft are cutting nearly 5,000 workers from their total workforce, with over 3,000 of those being from Xbox. All right, let's get digging. There's a lot to go through here. Zach is destroying my office. Compulsion and Double Fine are fine, as it turns out, but they are spinning off to become independent studios. So I guess... Once more, yeah. So here's the good thing, I guess. It's like Microsoft aren't actually closing studios, but that's like... And you've got to take that with a
They
with
retain... the rights to their intellectual property.
Correct.
Well,
yes, the IP is going with them. So Double Fine could make Psychonauts 3 without Microsoft's blessing, which is great news.
To be honest, they're creative enough to just come up with new franchises.
Yeah, they probably would.
But yeah,
they probably would.
It's still good.
Yeah, and Compulsion, which are the team behind We Happy Few, and most recently South of Midnight, the other one. That's being spun off in this way. They are becoming independent again, keeping hold of their IP. So if they were to work on South of Midnight 2 or We Happy 2, they could. So yeah, that's probably the best news from here. And as far as we're aware, there's been no cuts as a result of that. Ninja Theory and Undead Labs are a slightly different situation. So Ninja Theory, obviously one of my favorite studios, like behind the Senua games recently.
Aren't they from Cambridge?
They are from Cambridge, yes. I used to walk past their office every morning.
Me too.
They are being sold. I don't think it's been, or have been sold. I don't think it's been revealed who they're being sold to just yet. Or at least I didn't see that news come up. But apparently the funding has been secured. So the projects they're currently working on, which we know are Senua and State of Decay 3, the funding for those projects has been secured as part of this deal. So those games that Xbox showed at their showcase, those are safe. Those will still happen. And again, as far as we know, as a result of this, at least for now, no cuts have been made at those studios. So good news? ? For those 4 studios. One studio remains under review at this point, and that is Arcane. The Dishonored guys. Those are... I don't think we know exactly what's happening to Arcane at this point in time. That's hopefully they'll end up with one of those 2 other deals and they'll get spun out. But like, it seems like Microsoft don't want them. They don't want them in their portfolio anymore as a first party studio. So, I guess we'll come back to. Well, let's do that now. Like, how do we feel about like them spinning them? I mean, it's obviously good for the studios, I guess, to be spun off rather than closed. But like strategy wise, I don't get it. Like they're cutting costs, but it's like, but sure, this can't help the like, hey, Xbox needs games thing.
Well, the grand strategy that failed was, of course, Game Pass, right? Which, as you multiply said, the best deal in gaming. And the reason for that was, they massively subsidized it, right? Because they were like, this is going to be the Netflix of video games, right? That was kind of the pitch.
So we need content.
And they were like, yeah, we'll invest. We've got a massive war chest with Microsoft, right? We need content. So we'll buy studios to pump out content for the Netflix of games. And that is just, it's not the same thing. You cannot make quality games, no matter how many studios you buy, you cannot make them fast enough to produce like the amount of content that Netflix does.
Well, I've always wondered.
That model doesn't work for video games.
I kind of always wondered about that. Like perhaps they could if they just like scoped down on some games, but then like the stuff that these studios in particular we're talking about, like they kind of weren't big scope games anyway. Okay.
No.
Hellblade 2.
That was their theory, right?
Hellblade 2 was kind of a problem, I guess, for Ninja Theory, because that did take a hella long time to develop. That for some reason did seem to take a while before that came out, but they managed to turn around Senua pretty quickly, right, compared to Hellblade 2. So they've sort of figured it out, but like, no, they're being sold now. Undead Labs, I can see that one a lot more, right? Because they've only ever put out State of Decay 2 pretty early on in Game Pass's history, right? And we haven't seen anything from them since. So they have not really been doing Microsoft any favors. So I kind of get that one. Yeah, and yes, State of Decay 3 is now coming and isn't super far away, but still, that's quite a long period of time with not a lot of output. I think Compulsion have had 2 games under their Microsoft. Oh no, they've only had 1 game. Like We Happy Few was pre-Microsoft, so South of Midnight was their only Microsoft project. And Double Fine have technically had 3. I think they had Psychonauts 2, Kiln, and Keeper.
Right.
Have all been under the Microsoft
They always
tenure.
were brimming with ideas for like slightly smaller games.
Yeah, I mean, Double Fine are like
Fine.
almost a perfect fit for Game Pass, right? Like.
Well, that was the idea. Yeah. I think presumably they wanted it. You know how Netflix, I don't have Netflix anymore, but you know how you log onto it and like every 2 weeks it's a big splash because they've made some electric state blockbuster.
Right,
or Enola Holmes or something.
Yeah, Enola Holmes 3 is
they,
currently the thing, right?
Exactly. And then they push it and then they have a constant like stream of these content. And some of them, I think Electric State cost God knows how much money and was a total flop, but it doesn't matter because they just keep churning, right?
Yeah.
And overall it's a success. And I think that's what Microsoft wanted to do, but I don't think it's actually practical in this world. And it makes sense logically that Double Fine could fit into that. Like,
no, I mean,
I guess the idea would be, rather than them being individual titles that didn't sold relatively well for something relatively niche or enthusiast, not Call of Duty, I mean, but they could take something like that. And if it was Game Pass, they could make it a big thing for 2 weeks, and then sustain it that way. But yeah, I don't think it was a flawed strategy from the start.
I just don't think they've gone. Like, if they wanted to get studios and games into Game Pass, they've kind of done it. I think they've targeted the wrong market. Like, they targeted big games, right, primarily. Yeah. Okay, with Double Fine and Compulsion maybe being slightly outside of that, but everyone else is like, that they brought into the fold have been like, no, we need big games. We need, like, the AAAs. It's a real, like, and unfortunately, as we know, those take an obscene amount of time to make now, so they can't produce enough Like, they really needed smaller scale, like, they needed some in-house indie, if that makes sense.
Yeah, basically.
Like leave teams to go off and do their own thing and make it. Oh, hey, Tango Gameworks. oh, hey, you had a studio like that. They made Hi-Fi Rush. What a great little game. Oh, no, we'll get rid of them too. Like, you know, I like, none of the strategy behind this, or at least
it would have been interesting if that's all they did was they didn't buy Bethesda, they didn't buy Activision, they just bought all of the really good indie studios or anything.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, it would be, they'd be like the A24, because that's right.
Sure.
Isn't it? A24 have done in movies what, you know, they didn't make the big superhero movies. They just got funded all the good indies, and now they're laughing because
and they found
everyone's bored of superheroes, and now it's like they made. Did they make things like Backrooms and Obsession that's like doing really, really well? Are they A24 films?
I don't know. I'm only really aware of what was the last A24. Oh, they did the. Was that Civil War? Was it called Civil War? They did. They were behind.
They did make Backrooms.
They did make Backrooms, yeah. Okay. So they were behind Civil War. Obviously, they're behind like one of my favorite films ever, Everything Everywhere All at Once. You know, they managed to find these like amazing films that they don't have to put a huge budget behind. And I think and I think that's what Game Pass needed to do. They needed to find amazing stuff that they don't need to put a budget behind. In a way, like I'm thinking like, oh, this is what Sega are kind of up to right now. In a weird way, like if I think about like Crazy Taxi and Shinobi and some of what the vibe I'm getting from what their current initiative is, like maybe Sega have kind of realized, you know, maybe we don't need to make AAA all the time, and it's like, no, you don't. That's not the. And it's just, it's clearly not sustainable in a Game Pass model. So like, why were you targeting that? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's nice.
I've just seen. I'm looking at a list of A24 films, and I'm looking at upcoming, and March 3rd, 2028, Elden Ring.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be interesting.
I forgot that was being made. Yeah.
And that's Alex Garland, who made Civil War.
Yeah. I haven't seen Civil War, but I hear it's good.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that could have worked, and it's the only way. I don't think you can... The way to squeeze maximum money out of the big blockbusters is to put them out as individual... things still,
which they've sort of realized with Call of Duty, like by because that's not part of Game Pass anymore. Then the older ones will be like I see they were kind of pushing Call of Duty 6 on Game Pass this week. I noticed because not last year's but the year before's release that was on Game Pass. So they've been pushing that on Game Pass now. But obviously, 7, they were like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. Who knows? Like, yeah, it kind of makes sense. I guess PlayStation have already adopted that strategy as well, right? Their big games don't come out on PS Plus immediately.
No, they don't. Exactly. They don't do that.
They kind of realize that as well. It's like, no, we're not going to cannibalize day one.
But they never
sales.
tried in the same way that with this grand strategy that Microsoft did.
Indeed.
It's weird because it is annoying, isn't it? Because as a consumer, like it was the best thing about Xbox
100%
during that period was Game Pass.
It was such a
amazing.
selling point. Yeah. It was such a thing I could talk about to normies and be like, no, like if you want to get into the world of games, this is a way in. Like without you having to think about it, just get Game Pass and play what tickles you. You know, just go. And in
theory, like if you're an executive that knows nothing about games and they pitch you like, oh, it's the Netflix of games, it's like in theory that's. It's an easy thing to explain. You don't know enough about the industry, right? Yeah, to understand why video games are not, films and TV.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you get into weird.
Okay, and then the biggest disaster, I guess we have to talk about is we're going through the studios.
We're going through the studios,
bad, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I've got Obsidian next on my list, who have lost 25% of their staff. Supposedly Avowed 2 has been cancelled, although Jason Schreier reports that a Skunkworks team are still kind of doing pre-prod on it, so
right, yeah.
I guess because apparently they've got nothing to do right now because they've got other projects that are further along, so it's just like, well, we're not firing you guys just keep working on something. Anyway, and Obsidian have also been assigned Fallout. So, and Microsoft have been apparently like somewhat upfront about, we want an accelerated dev cycle on a new Fallout game. So they want more Fallout
Because of
content.
the success of the TV show.
Yeah, and I guess because they haven't made a Fallout game since they haven't made a proper Fallout game since 4 at this point. And,
Sure, even though they definitely consider Fallout 76 to be a proper Fallout game.
Sure, yeah. So it's been a while.
But nobody else does.
No.
No.
But surely an accelerated production just means they're going to use the same fucking engine again.
Probably.
God damn it.
At least.
Well, they should have the freaking engine from Elder Scrolls 7 or whatever.
Well, or Obsidian might build a Fallout game in their Outer Worlds / Avowed engine. Right? Because the Obsidian have history with Fallout. Let's not forget that, right? They made New Vegas.
That's true.
Which is...
Well, yes, but that was
Some
in the
people think
Fallout
it's
3
the
engine.
best
That was in the Fallout 3 engine, yes.
Yeah.
But, like, I would not be surprised if they used the systems they built for Outer Worlds and Avowed instead of using Bethesda's creation engine to make a new Fallout game. Like, I think that's entirely reasonable. But anyway, that is supposedly what's happening with Obsidian. So at least they're still about, but yes, it's a big cull. id are probably one of the bigger, like, nasty stories, because they have lost half.
That's the nasty one.
Yeah, they have lost half of their staff.
Yeah.
Which is an absurd number. So, and the dev team has been very open with saying, like, with coming out and just being like, well, we don't really know how we're going to function at this point. Which is kind of, I don't know. It feels worse in the presence of the fact that id have also put out official statements sort of saying, it's not that bad, kinda, because they've been saying, like, we're about the same size as we were as when we made Doom 2016. Which is like, okay, fair. I guess that means you could still function as a company, maybe. But is the landscape the same now as it was 10 years ago? Does that still work? Does that still make sense?
God. I mean,
there's a whole bunch of people saying, like,
the executives are like, they've got past the whole not invented here thing, and if they're going to use Unreal for Halo, then they'll just freaking make everyone use Unreal.
That was the other thing that came out, is like a lot of people are saying, like, is this the end of id Tech? But like,
basically,
but
I think it is.
But the reports on that have been somewhat mixed. Like, you know, some saying, like, there's next to no one working on id Tech right now because they all got fired. But then other reports saying, no, that's not strictly true. There's still a healthy dev team purely on id Tech. And yeah, honestly, it would seem like, given that they are always, even in Doom the Dark Ages, right? They're on the forefront of technology always.
I thought that Indiana Jones was id Tech.
It is id Tech, yeah. Because
good.
Machine Games
that was the best looking game of the year.
Because Machine Games, like when they built Indiana Jones and they built Wolfenstein, they use id Tech. That's their Machine Games use that engine. Yeah. So that's a bit of a mess. We don't really know what's going on there. And just to rub this all of this happened and was revealed a few days after Microsoft announced the fact that they're starting a new AI company called Frontier Co. That's like, and it's just like, yep, okay, yep, no, just doubling down on what Microsoft cares about. Like, I guess nothing has changed.
That's nothing to do with video games, is it? It's
nothing to do with video games. Microsoft. No, they're just Microsoft on the whole are just like saying, yeah, we're opening a brand new AI division, effectively.
I'm sure.
Called
just a rebrand, basically, of some internal stuff.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows how that? I don't know what that actually works out. But yeah, it's just kind of just sort of rubbing in Microsoft's focus, I guess.
I don't know if you've heard about this is a total slight shift, but if you heard about how insane it is at Meta.
I haven't. No, I mean,
not that it wasn't. Not that it wasn't already a madhouse, but yeah, there's some really weird stuff going on there, and they are laying off people. And Tracy, who I worked with, she moved to San Francisco to work for Meta, and she's been laid off. She worked there for years, but she's been laid off now. But basically, I'm probably not going to do this story justice, but basically, they selected large numbers of the workforce. I don't know how many, software people, 50% or something, and force them to join the new program. And if you don't want to join, then you have to quit. or you have to.
What is the new program?
And it's like, and so it's obviously some kind of effort to make advanced AI models that can, replace you and take over the world, right?
Right.
And so, and the way that I've heard it described is their job is to create, sort of training. Like, say you're a coder, your job becomes all day, every day to create difficult programming problems for the AI to solve,
Right.
And in concert with this, if you're in the program, that everything you do at all times, your screen and everything is all being constantly recorded and used as training data.
To train the model, okay.
Yes. And so this is like, and that's it. And everyone hates it. Like so many people joined, Facebook to build, user interfaces for people to do social networking or whatever.
Sure,
maybe they actually believed that was had some
or maybe,
positive things in society,
or maybe solve some of the social networks like inherent problems. Yeah,
exactly. Make things better. But no, you are assigned to this project. It's like moonshot project. If you don't like it, you have to leave. And you're not doing obviously and that's what's going on at Meta, and they're firing people. So
and they're about to get hella sued as well from like that lawsuit about social media as well. That's just coming up in the US.
Wait, which one?
Well, there's like several, and it's not even just Meta. It's like several of the companies. But I think I saw that the headline was Meta might. I mean, it's not actually going to happen, but the headline for the lawsuit was like, Meta might get fined $2 trillion.
Whoa.
For all the social media damage that's happened over the years. And it's like, well, obviously that's not actually going to happen.
They're going to have to find some law that they've actually broken on that front.
But they are having to respond to the laws that are like, literally like, it is now illegal for them to serve users under 16 in Australia, right? And Yeah, and that's kind of, I think we've got one, haven't we? Is it under 16? It's like a hard ban.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't even know how they're going to do that. Like,
I think that, there's various enforcement methods, but I think it's pushed onto, which makes sense, it's pushed onto the platforms rather than the ISPs or like the device. I think it's pushed onto Facebook too, or whoever, or Instagram. It's pushed onto the platforms to enforce this law.
Yeah.
So, which means it's just going to be the same as the facial recognition shit they've already been doing.
Which is nightmarish on its own. Like, I hate to say, I'm not into like government tracking or something and any of that, like in any way, but like surely that's the only way to make a system like this solid is to have like a decent government tech project that actually has like a login system, like login with Google, except it's like login with Gov.
Yeah.
So you can like prove it.
Yeah.
And I do kind of hate that because it's like, then the state are watching me, but also like, how else do you do this?
Well, the argument I've heard, which kind of makes sense to me, is by analogy, where it's like kids will find a way around this for sure.
Oh, so absolutely.
There's the one approach is to like have it be, needing the digital identity and then it being really hard to work around. One is that like, it's best effort, right? But it works over time, where the same as like cigarettes or like drink driving or something, where at first people laughed at the new law and they didn't really take it seriously. And then after a while, it just became like, it's totally mad drink driving now. Right? But when it came in, they were like, don't be silly. I'm obviously going to drive home from the pub. I've been doing that for 20 years, So anyway, we'll see. Sorry, that was a big tangent from video games.
No,
but the meta situation is pretty bad.
As a parent, that's the social media stuff is interesting to me, right? Like, mainly because, I see both sides to it. These days, it's like I see there will definitely be a FOMO aspect. Like if it does come in and, your kids are trying to communicate with their friends, but then like the negatives that are possible during it are huge as well. Like I get both sides of the argument. Like 100%. It's
solution is to go back to instant messages. Full on just single use programs that can only communicate directly with someone you've added to your friends list personally.
Oh, but that's
not social
messaging.
media. Well, yeah, that's also true.
MSN
Back to text messaging as well.
MSN Messenger. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not going to stop dick pics.
Well, no. Well,
no, of course.
you could if you only made it a text-based program.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, text only. Only ASCII dicks allowed.
I mean, you'd think that someone must have already made that by now, but like probably not, as fully as you'd want. There must be a product where you can be like, for your child's friend group, if they all install this program that's very, very limited, then that can be the one social media they use, and then they never have to go onto Facebook or anything for the rest
Club
of them.
Penguin. Lol.
That had its own problem.
Lol. The Microsoft King.
I think I saw that the UK law includes YouTube as a social network, which I guess it is. But if that would be annoying if I was 14 and I wanted to watch a music video and I couldn't because I couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know that I don't know if I'm in agreement with that as YouTube as a social network. Like it's a post and comment platform. Like you're not.
So that is social media, isn't it?
Kinda, but I guess Reels kind of or YouTube Shorts, I guess, muddy the water a bit.
Right, because they competing with Instagram, and then now they've become Instagram. Yeah.
I mean, it's not really any different from a Twitter post. It's just that the first post is a video instead of a bit of text. And then in Twitter, in some cases, the first post is a video now also.
I suppose you're right. I guess it's just I'm biased because of how I consume YouTube, I guess. But yeah, when you boil it down.
And you're already not even meant to be allowed to have a YouTube account until you're 13 anyway, so there's only a 3-year overlap technically between current and the law that's coming up. But of course, no one has ever enforced that.
Doesn't YouTube just let you watch stuff without logging in anyway? Like, isn't there like some stuff you can still see?
I wouldn't even know because it's been so long since I've seen unlogged in YouTube.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think I'm done with the Microsoft news.
Yeah.
It's a bad time. It's bad all round.
Yeah.
The industry is killing itself. Sort yourselves out, lads. Surely some money is better than no money. Just make some money and be happy with it, you assholes.
They're literally not allowed to because of the other laws.
Fiduciary responsibility and all that jazz because of shareholders and cockbites. That's what it should actually be called. Like they shouldn't be called shareholders. They should be called cockbites.
The cockbites.
Yeah. Finally, my one bit of Nintendo news. Mario Kart Tour is shutting down in September.
I guess to slightly make a marginal upturn at the end of this news, Mario Kart World got a patch with 2 new knockout tours. And menu space for 6 more.
I mean, I guess segue to the game section, but like, have you played them?
No.
I have.
Okay.
They are not that interesting.
Well, I mean, it's just knockout tours.
It's just knockout tour, yeah.
Do they not have any interesting, like, this very slightly unusual route? Of course, you would. No, I'm the one who played every single possible route, so if I play them and I see it, it's like, oh, this doesn't go where the normal map route goes. I would be the one that would know.
I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, I guess you would, but like, yeah, I wouldn't say that they were particularly like interesting.
I mean, did
routes.
They use...
I mean, one of them definitely covers path that is in one of the other knockout tours.
Sure,
for sure. And they didn't even do like the alternate versions of courses, right?
Right, the ending bit. Basically,
yeah, where some of the tracks like have an alternate route through them and stuff like that.
That's just because not many of them have that, right? Like the one when you end at Bowser's Castle, that's like there's no alternates you can do with Bowser's Castle because there's no other. There's no other path. That is just a level floating in midair.
Exactly. So you got to get up there and do the level. There you go. That's all you can do. And that's exactly what happens. So, but I think they do go to a couple of the other places. I think like they finally do Chocolate Mountain or whatever it's called, and Choco Mountain, and do more of that course, right? Rather than just
like drives through the tunnel on the other ones,
and scouts the outskirts. So they actually go do a bit of that, I think now. So that's different for a knockout tour, I guess. But no, these 2 they've added they're not. It's so late at this point. Like it's over a year since that game came out, and it's like now you're starting to push the needle on content, and like okay, great, you're going to do 6 more of them. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see something.
Even though,
but they need to be way more interesting than these first 2 are because they change nothing.
Yes. Even though, like, if they're going to be uninteresting in this way, they should have put in the effort to make the full randomization system. Like, where if you're not going to make specialized routes that do different things or send you into slightly different areas, they should have made the automatic system where it can pick any route on the entire map.
Just make a route, yeah.
That would have been a better investment if you're not going to put in that effort to do the, like, actual handwork.
It is. Man, it's just, I don't understand why it's taken them this long.
Well, no. It's like, what else have they been doing in the meantime?
Yeah. I mean, they apparently repatched the randomization of items again.
Well, sure.
So
and people are the more professional Mario Kart players are happy about that because it's even more getting rid of the front running versus bagging situation.
Exactly. The rare items are the percentage of how often a rare item, or the better items, I should say, can appear when you're near the front of the pack has increased, right? So it's
and weirdly specific because I watched a video about this. It's like there's a weirdly specific extra system on top of that where it only has an effect for like the first minute of a race.
Yeah, so that I saw that was like 20 seconds or something. There's like a 20-second window where you can get really good items at the front of the pack.
Because like if you've ever seen a video of the like super hardcore Mario Kart, they basically all just like park on the first set of power-ups trying to wait for everyone else to leave. Because they're like constantly moving slightly backwards and forwards to change which position they're in as they're sitting on top of the power-ups to try and get the best ones on like literally the first power-up line there is on the track. Which is why this change only affects like the first 20 seconds of the race because it's specifically to counter that thing happening.
I went back obviously and played some Mario Kart Tour with this patch, like just not Mario Kart Tour, sorry, some knockout tour in Mario Kart World, just because of this patch, and it's like, yeah, I find it kind of a bummer to play because of that. It still feels like you have to bag like. It feels like being in there at front. Like you get towards the end of a section in Knockout Store, and it feels like being like I'm in trouble here because I'm in front.
Sure.
Like, and you just get owned and owned and owned and owned over and over and over again until you're out of the round, and it's like this sucks. This is not good game design. Like.
You do have slightly more options now, I guess. Although I don't know, I think you can get mushrooms in first now, and I mean that's good for blue shell countering, but not super helpful for much else.
There was also, isn't there something as well? Like if you fluff the start, like your first power up is going to be a triple shroom. Like if you don't get a boost start, like that you're.
I don't know.
Did they change? I'm sure it was there at some point. Like like if you fluff the start, like your first power up is guaranteed to be a triple shroom or something.
I mean, that might just be because you're in the further back anyway. You'd be more likely to get that.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, yeah, they did patch Mario Kart, and it's like, do more. I mean, they can't fundamentally change the game, I guess, at this point, but still, it's like
unless this all this time that they've been spending apparently not doing anything, they've been secretly working on like an entire new map.
I mean, that would be wild. That would be cool, and like this 8 new Knockout Tour lead up reveal like comes to the end, and it's like the end of the next one is like
off the map,
goes into this new place, and it's like, whoa! I mean, that would be sick. Like that's a way to do a reveal.
But that would be far too much free content. That's like if they were going to make an entire, because it would be a new map of like another 30 actual tracks.
And what you mean? It'd be very. Yeah, new content for the most expensive Nintendo game?
Yep, you'd hope.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, what have they been doing? Where's all the effort been going?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway, yeah, that's my... Dan, back to you to
do the proper intro to this section.
Yeah.
Well, you're already talking about what you've been playing, so talk about what you've been playing. That's what I say. Who's first? Rob, I guess, because of Mario Kart.
I guess.
All right. Okay. I got a whole bunch of stuff to talk through. Let's see if I can get through this with some expediency. Replaced. I finished Replaced. I don't know if I have much more to add to what I said to it before. I think the sort of music vibe got better as the game went on. I think because I had some sort of. I didn't think much of it in the early phases of that game, but the back half of that game definitely has better music than the front half, which is nice because it really lends itself to what pretty much the I'm going to praise it again. The immaculate like vibes of the visuals. Like it is consistently a very good looking game. I love its style. I love that it's like leaning into the pixel art style in a 3D world. Like, so even like when they do 3D models, it's like the textures over them are pixelated and like round things are like jagged. They're not round, they're jagged with pixels, but they rotate in the way. Anyway, it's got it, and like the lighting quality is really good. Like it's a really great looking game. But I didn't think much of the audio presentation at first, but yeah, it definitely gets better towards the back. What doesn't get better is the combat. I kind of felt like it just I think it got worse as the game went on, to be honest. And I think that sometimes, and I think sometimes that's because the game gets harder and I enjoy it less when it gets hard. That's a me thing. Like I don't get good sometimes, and I just don't enjoy it. But this just feels bad. Like as it gets harder, like I feel like there are certain. It's weirdly inconsistent. Like it feels like there are certain fights where the control lag seems more or feels more than it did in other fights. There were just certain fights in the game where it doesn't necessarily mix up what's going on in the fights all that much. It's like, oh, here's some dudes I'm going to have to beat up. Oh, here's a yellow marker over that guy's head again. Let me just push that and do a counter. But like in certain fights, it just felt like the counter never functioned. And like this specific one encounter, like I just couldn't get counters to function. So I'm diving about the place and doing dodges instead of countering, but dodges has a side effect. Dodges, when you dodge, you lose gun power. And basically your gun is like almost your super weapon. It's like your insta-kill almost and then against certain enemies you need it. So you're beating people up to charge up your gun. But every time you dive, you lose power from your gun. So like if I'm not countering, I'm not charging my gun as quickly, and so that kind of I'm disadvantaged by that if the fight seems to not let me counter properly. I never really got on with it, like the counter timing. It never seemed right. It never felt right. And there were just moments where it's like it feels like the enemies throw a combination. Like it does the thing where it feels like sometimes the attacks coming at you just can't be overcome in the way the game seems to want you to overcome them. And I hate that feeling as well. Like, so they introduced this mechanic where, like, if someone is aiming at you, a laser sight appears on screen, and it will go red to indicate that you can hold down a button. And when you're holding that button, you reflect the shot. And it will hit whoever's in front of you. And it's like, great, cool, that seems manageable. I'll do that. But like towards the end of the game, you start getting enemies that do 2 shots in quick succession. And I could reflect the first one, but could I get the second one to reflect? Like I never pulled that off. I never managed to get that to work. So it's like, is like the mechanical timing of that just broken? And that it just can't function? I don't know. Like, or am I not supposed to? Am I supposed to reflect one and then dodge the second? Like, it just didn't. And then you get a prompt on screen saying, oh, by the way, you can press this button to reflect the attack. It's like, yeah, I fucking know. It just doesn't work. Like, yeah, I don't know. So I kind of ended up falling out with the gameplay, but really digging the vibes. Which is a somewhat frustrating place to be.
Yeah.
But credit to their art team and the visual team, because it's a phenomenal looking game, but it's not a very well playing game. Yeah,
it just doesn't play well.
Yeah, I kind of ended up hating it more as I went on, which is not a great position to be. But anyway, like I look forward to what they may do next. Maybe I have to wait another like 5 rounds of Fantasy League after they announce whatever the next game is before it finally turns up. Who knows? So that was replaced. I played through all of Mixtape in a day.
And played as in inverted quotes.
In a day?
In a day.
Less than a day, though. You mean a few hours, right?
It's about 4 hours long, yeah.
Right, yeah. Afternoon.
Yeah. This was the day I came back from well, not the day I came back. Yeah, but the day after I came back from Silverstone, and I had a day off work. And I was just kind of like, I'm just going to veg out and play this thing and soak in the vibes, as you might say, because that is what this game is completely full of. For those that don't know, the Mixtape is the second game from the studio Beethoven and Dinosaur, whose previous title was The Artful Escape, which I also played way back when on Game Pass. That was kind of the same deal in a way. Like The Artful Escape is it wasn't a difficult game. It presents itself like a 2D platformer, but its main thing was just going through the world, shredding guitar and soaking it all in and being just a part of this sound and visual scape, and just enjoying the ride. And Mixtape is kind of the same deal. It tells the story of I assume teenagers, but like the age is kind of like, who knows?
Yeah,
like on their last full day together before the main character, Stacey Rockwell, goes to New York to try and stalk down someone so they can perhaps land their dream job as a music supervisor. And the game goes to great length to explain what a music supervisor is. Like, you know, they're the person they're the sort of person that just knows music, right? And so they know how to soundtrack everything. And so the entire game
for films and things,
for TV, you know, TV. that kind of stuff. Like, if there's a moment, I know how to soundtrack it. That's Stacey's vibe. That's her whole thing. And so the game is presented like that. There is a mixtape, there is a playlist that she's put together for how this last day will go. And you are riding through it. Sometimes literally, because there's some skateboarding stuff, some rudimentary skateboarding. So you're riding through it. And this game's fucking great. Like, I loved it. Like, it was exactly the right game at the right time for me. It's funny. The dialogue is excellently written. Like, you're not really, as Zach said, sort of alluded to it, you're barely playing this thing. It's an interactive movie, really. But it's just a very well crafted interactive movie. I really loved it. Like, it's got a great soundtrack. It's got there are some moments, even late game, where it's like there are payoffs to some like subtle things early in the game, or some unexpected turns with like in character traits that you didn't realize were there, and you're just like, oh yeah, that's so cool. It's great. The perfect Game Pass game, if you will.
Right. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I highly recommend. I had a great time with it. It's got perhaps the one annoying thing with it is it's if you're going to be a gamer about it, its achievement structure kind of sucks, because it is a game that's just like, just play through it, just enjoy the ride. And then like what it does is like the achievements are like, oh, go do this specific thing during this specific section, and it tries to like, I guess, gamify stuff that the game doesn't present to you in any way as being a thing you should try and do. Like, I guess reminiscent of old school achievements in a strange way, like the very beginnings of achievements, where it's just like, hey, go do this weird thing that's like not at all related to the game. So there's that. So if you even remotely care about achievements, this might not. It's not a strong suit.
Well, if you remotely care about achievements, just look them up first, so you know what you have to do when doing it the first time.
Okay, but that was kind of the problem. Like, when I realised that's what the game was doing, I was entering a section and going, wait a minute, I'm just going to look at the achievement list and see what I'm supposed to be doing during this section to get the achievement. Like, which kind of broke the flow a little bit.
I mean, that's
because of the way my brain works. It's like, God damn it.
That is definitely a thing that happens in games fairly regularly. But it depends like on you noticing that as a thing and then being able to accept that is a thing you're going to do. It's like when I was trying to get the achievements in Viewfinder, where it's just like, do this specific thing in this specific level. It's like, and it's not even something you would naturally do. And it's like, well, I'm just going to look at these achievements beforehand, so I know when I'm in this level, I have to do this thing.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not sure I like that as a flow. Like, I kind of get it. It's like it is what achievements almost like. I flip flop on it. Like I used to love that back in the day. Like okay, this is making me think about the game in a different way, specifically for achievements. This is adding something to the experience. I mean, like here it's not adding to the experience. Here it's actively like adding a game element to something that's not meant to be played like that, and it doesn't work for me.
It's like in theory, those achievements should be designed for like, on your second playthrough you can do the achievements, but you're not going to do a second playthrough of that kind of game specifically.
Maybe
because
not,
it's just like it's a story.
Yeah,
like once you've seen it once, there's no interest, there's no intrigue in the story any longer.
Yeah, I guess it depends how much of a movie rewatcher you are. Like in this instance, right? If you really are one of those people that goes like, oh, that was rad, I'm going to watch it again right now.
Right.
Like you'll be fine with that. Like, I'm going to experience it in a slightly different way. Not that there's any branching paths or anything, but you know what I mean.
No,
I'm going to do this.
In that case, like, very specifically not, where it's just like, there's even less reason to replay that if there's no, choice or anything, even if the choices are fake.
Yeah. Yeah, there aren't any choices. But yeah, I like that. As I said, I just love how this thing pans out. Like the dialogue between characters is stupid in all the right ways at times because teenagers, somewhat anachronistic. Like I think like they use like maybe some modern-ish turns of phrases that wouldn't be available in this like early to mid 90s setting of this thing. I did find it funny, so Stacey's listening to like a CD Walkman at all times, and there's like a throw, and you find burnt discs in her room and stuff, and it's like there's like a throwaway line saying it's like, how do you even burn a CD? How do you even make CDs? And it's like, oh, there's like this $30,000 bit of equipment at the university that they let me use. So it's like oh wow, okay, so this is like CD burning was new and kind of cool. Like it's
cool.
Where do you get the files to burn from in that case? Like, yeah, that's the actual step further back that you have to ponder in that case.
Yeah, did Napster exist like at this point in time?
How are you ripping the files?
Yeah, how are you getting hold of some of this rare stuff that you're talking about? Like, I love the chapter intros are all, because it's all tied to this playlist. It's like all of the chapter intros are like, and this is this song from this year from this artist, and tells you a little bit of background about the actual artist and why they were doing that at the time. And it's like, those are like the chapter intros, and it's like, I love that. Like, that's great. And they even lean into messing with that towards the end of the game a little bit. It's man, yeah, really good time. Had a really good time with this game. Like, it was just what I needed for a day off. Mixtape.
Mixtape. Sweet.
Really excited to see what Beethoven. Really excited to see what Beethoven and Dinosaur come up with next. Yeah. Because they're 2 for 2 in my eyes at the moment. What else? What should we talk about next? Let's do Star Fox. Motherfucking Star Fox.
How much more do we need to talk about this?
I mean, it's flippin' Star Fox.
Well, yeah, that's the general point,
and it's phenomenal. Like, I don't I'm obviously the mark for this. Like, I love Lilac Wars. I love it's one of my favorite games of all time, and they have there's almost nothing wrong with this version of it. Almost nothing wrong. It looks phenomenal. Like, I love the fact that they've gone into this, like, huge, so much lens flare sci-fi aesthetic. But, like, it's the J.J. Abrams, isn't it? Like, lens flare. Like everything lens flares. Like, and it looks great. Yeah, it's got a great, apparently that's like a custom engine. Like, Valan Studio are behind this remake. Not a particularly old, well-practiced studio, but an inspired choice by Nintendo. So Valan Studio, like, it's not using Unreal Engine or anything like that, as you might expect. It's using an in-house engine, and it looks great, and it runs great. Like, it's Digital Foundry do a teardown. It's like for a game that's supposedly only running at like 1080p docked on Switch 2, like hard to tell. It looks brilliant. I love the new art direction. The music is incredible. It was all recorded at Abbey Road, fully orchestrated, and it's
cool.
It sounds so good. Like, it's definitely one of those games where it's like you just want to crank the stereo up and just like live in it. It's so well done. I'm even a big fan of the new dialogue. It's like, they changed a bunch of the dialogue, but from the N64 game, but it fits the whole of the game. Like, maybe moment to moment, it's not as funny as like how, the do a barrel roll sounds different. They removed the line where Falco says, "Hey Einstein," like when you shoot him, like, "Hey Einstein, I'm on your side." Like they changed that line because I guess Einstein isn't canonical in the Star Fox universe.
That could have been anyone.
Yeah. There's things here and there they change, but I think it all works for the better. I think it fits better, it flows better across the campaign more. The changes, like in Aquas, are like inspired. Like, so Aquas was the underwater level, the submersible level, and there's this kind of weird vibe on the N64 version where they're like sort of half. Like half the team are calling like Slippy a screw up half the time, and then there's Peppy going like, "You're the best, Slippy," like halfway through the mission because he built this submersible and it's kind of working, and it's like, "You're the best." It's like the vibe is kind of all over the place, and it's like, and then they sort of take the piss out of it. Like, anyway, it's weird. It's way more, that balance is just done so much better here. They've changed all of that dialogue, and it fits that mission a whole lot better. Like, everyone's a little bit nervous about this completely untested submarine. And then they come out the other end and they're like, "Yeah, that was, you did pretty good." Like, the flow works better rather than this sort of weird, like, "You're a screw up. You're the best. You're a screw up." Dialogue from the original. So that's been hugely improved. So yeah, I'm all on board with the new. I love the new style. The new cutscenes are like, they're not as impactful as I was hoping, but they work. They maybe spoil some of how the game mechanics worked. Like, I'm on the. This is kind of one of the few things about this I'm on the fence about. The game is way more explicit about how the multiple routes worked. Right, the N64 game didn't really tell you where the routes were and how you unlocked the different paths. Once you've finished your first campaign playthrough on this, you can just go to the map and push X, I think, X or Y, one of the two buttons, and just look up how the other routes work. Like, it's just right there. And it will say, like, "Oh yeah, you need to go through the warp gates on Meteo, for instance, or
to get to this route."
Yeah, make sure you stop the train properly on Macbeth, and then you'll get the other route. And it's like, so it just tells you. And I don't know that I like that. I don't know, like I'm coming from a position of, I know all this anyway, but like there's an element of like half the joy of playing Lilac Wars back in the day was like being like, "Oh, I can do that. Oh, and that's unlocked that's how I get to that place." And it's like, some of it was like it was like explained to you mid-mission, right? Like, "Oh, here, go do this thing." Right. Like, so the cutscenes now very much spell out what the alternate strategy is. Like, for instance, Macbeth is the obvious one because they have like a little holodeck sequence where they're like, "Yeah, you got to shoot these locks for the train, and then the train will go off and you'll shortcut it, blah blah blah." And there are other, like, even Meteo with the weird, see our video on Happy Salad of me, like, I think, did I pull it off? I can't remember if I pulled it off or not, but the doing the warp on Meteo. It just like highlights at the start of the mission, "Hey, there's these weird energy signatures." Like, it tells you that they're there rather than you just doing it and something weird happens. I
mean, this change is purely just like for modern audiences to understand that there's actually some amount of game. Because if you played for it once and you didn't know there was any alternate
you got
routes,
credits, yeah, it's just like, what do you mean I'm finished?
Because people wouldn't just replay it just to try things, because they wouldn't think that was a thing that you could do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would have been fine to just show that there is a route here, not necessarily how to do it. Like, maybe that needs toning back a bit.
I mean...
Because, to be honest, I remember going back and playing the Wii when I played Star Fox Zero, right? And I had that same... I kind of had the problem part of this, right? Where I knew where routes were, but I didn't quite know what the game was asking me to do in order to achieve some of those routes. And it turns out most of those, because I never used the fucking lock-on mechanic, like in the way that the game wanted me to use it. Like, some of them would just lock on to this guy and don't do anything. Just follow the lock, and for some reason that will change your flow. You didn't actually do anything. You just had to hold a lock on a character, and that took you off on this different route. It sucks. It was a bad way of doing that.
I mean, I think the solution would have been you reveal the information in the cutscenes, but only in the cutscene after the mission is relevant. You have it as a debrief, so they say, "Oh, I think if you'd done this thing, we may have had a different option, but now we're forced down this route," as a hint to when you play it again to be like, "Oh, that's where the different option was."
Maybe, yeah.
You don't tell people at the start of the mission that, like, "Oh, here's a secret route that we clearly already know about."
Yeah, maybe, and maybe that would have fit with some of the game. Like, the game is very lenient with retries and restarts.
Right.
Like, in the original game, like, doing a restart would cost you a life.
Right.
Now it's free. Like, if you want to replay the mission, like, you go, "Oh, I screwed that section up. I'm going to go back and replay this again." You can just go to the pause menu, hit restart. It doesn't cost you anything. Just go for it. Just restart it. Do it again. I'm not sure. Like, lives are pointless now, basically.
Obviously.
Lives are like almost a totally useless resource now. Maybe they become more important in expert mode, which I haven't actually unlocked yet. I'm getting there, but I haven't quite got it yet. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about that as a change. Everything else is flipping amazing. I actually really like the multiplayer. I've been doing some of that as well. The only bummer with the multiplayer is, like, there's no, like, progression at all. There's no, like... It is just hop in and play, and yeah, the fact that there's only 3 maps and 3 game modes, like, you know, the game modes are tied to the map. That is pretty weak. That does feel small and does feel limiting, pretty quickly, which is a shame because I actually think the mode is good fun. There just needs to be, like, way more of it. They should have lent into it and made that the thing you were buying the remake for. Maybe, I don't know. Like, but because I think they did a pretty good job with it. It's fun.
Sweet.
Yeah. So this is. I mean, I love it. Can I say you will love it for £50 English? I think I do have a bit of a problem with that. I think, like, I do have a problem with that, having, like, charging £50 for Star Fox 64 in the year of our Lord 2026. I don't know that feels good. But it is a very good looking, very well made, very enjoyable version of that game. It's I don't know. Yeah, I probably will go back to Star Fox 64 and Lilac Wars, but, like, this is the GOAT now. This, for me, like, this, I love it. And I always was going to.
Well, they did their job for you. That's
they did.
my thing.
Yeah. Do I now need to get hopeful that this is a success and they get Valan to do a new one?
Well, that's what everyone was hoping
would
for
you
with
prefer
it.
that? Or would you prefer, I don't know.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Okay, I won't say it. F-Zero, obviously. Would you prefer them to do F-Zero, even a remake of, let's say it was F-Zero X, or would you prefer a new Star Fox?
Could you remake F-Zero? Yeah, interesting. I mean, F-Zero X is a great game. And I mean, maybe I feel about F-Zero X the same way as I thought about like this before it came out. I guess like, does F-Zero X need a new coat of paint?
Exactly.
Maybe not. Like, it works super well in its current form, but then Lilac Wars worked amazingly well in its original form. And
you're still happy you got a remake, so.
I'm still very happy. Yeah, I probably would still be very happy with that. I probably would still be very happy if F-Zero X came back. Or if they did no, they wouldn't do that. I was about to say if they did a weird take on the SNES game or the 2D like F-Zeros, no, they wouldn't. Like,
no, they already did.
They kind of
did.
Yeah, they kind of did. Yeah. I guess
so you have to choose F-Zero X remake or new Star Fox.
Those aren't the same thing, though. The choice then would have been between the F-Zero and Star Fox remakes.
Man, out of those two, I would take a new Star Fox. I would take a new game over a remake.
New stuff, new game, yeah, fair. They're going a bit overboard with the remakes with the Ocarina of Time, but they need to reel it back.
It's a remake.
Yeah, we'll see how that happens.
It's a weirdly remake-heavy year for Nintendo, right? Like,
yeah. And just in general, like Black Flag, everyone likes that.
Well, yes, everyone is in the process of making everything.
Yeah, I guess that hasn't changed. It does feel like remakes might have perhaps dialed back a little bit for a moment there.
And I think it was because just less things came out for a moment. We had a couple of fairly weak release years, so it just seemed like there was less remakes on average.
Maybe.
What have we got? Yeah, we've got Halo remake this year, right?
Yeah, that's not far away.
The biggest releases are remakes, like with Assassin's Creed.
Like Grand Theft Auto 6, lol.
Halo. That's not a remake.
Might as well be.
They've never done a remake of any kind, have they?
No.
Or those definitive editions.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
But are those classes remakes in the remake classing system?
And don't you count like the Xbox One/PS4 era versions of GTA 5 remakes, or are they not really remakes?
No, they're versions, right? Yeah, they're just like
enhanced. They're HD editions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kinda. I don't know what you call the like most recent like ray traced PC. I guess they're just patches. They're just patches.
Yeah, they're just patches.
Yeah. So that's Star Fox. It's flippin' sweet. And I've started, and this is going to be my segue because this may be a game that Zach would approve of.
Yes, I saw you play. I happened to go into Forza for a minute, and I looked at because Rob was online, and I looked at his profile. It's like, oh, there's two games that we're about to talk about on the podcast. So this is the other one.
Yeah, so I've been playing Forza as well. Like it was winter. Winter sucks. But it's spring now. Spring is cool. Yeah, I don't really. I'm kind of in a weird spot with Forza where it's like. It feels like it wants me to do way more of the like shitty in-world like speed cameras and stuff like that.
I mean, that's all I've got left to do in my case. So I'm kind of getting towards being done with Forza.
Yeah, so I'm not like I haven't unlocked the I'm not legendary status yet still. So like, but then I've not been playing it all that much.
I'm like in the. Because I went the little bit that I played, not to get into my segue early, but like it said it was like one of the goals was like do some Pathfinder stars in a specific car, and so I was like, which of these Pathfinders haven't I done? And so the first one that I tried to do, it turns out I've discovered the Pathfinder that is the drive across the entire map Pathfinder.
Oh,
which.
I didn't even realise that was a thing.
It's like, is that good or is that bad? Because it's kind of annoying.
Yeah. Huh. How are you even going to do that one effectively? Yeah, okay, interesting.
Yeah, because like
that is at least more interesting.
Yeah, because it's so long, that does imply actual like choices about how you're going to manage it.
Yeah, there's some terrain it's not just a straight line.
Yeah, and well, that was one of the things that I did find quite annoying because obviously you think like our straight line is the best solution, but like
maybe not
because it goes across the sort of middle area of the map. There's those like really deep river valleys that have like walls alongside the roads. It's like if you fall into one of those, it's fucking impossible to get out of there in a straight line. So I was like, I have to hang like further to the right to avoid that whole valley system so I can come in on the far side more directly. And then also the end point is like in one of the parks in Tokyo. So you still have to figure out like which road entrance to Tokyo am I going to come into that's going to be the easiest, like, grid route to get to that park?
Is it one of those ones where it just would make sense to, like, perhaps
Right on the road.
Yeah, hoof it to the highway and just in an R car and just absolutely blitz it down.
I was considering that after the first couple of times because I did like the first attempt I tried to do pure straight line and then fell into that valley where I got stuck, and then the second time I was like, okay, I can hang wider, and like that was okay, but like, I mean, I got the season goals, but not anywhere near like the 3-star. And I was like, how am I meant to do this faster? Because it starts you way up in the mountains in the snow area. So you automatically think, oh, you need an off-road car, but maybe not, because you're literally kind of just falling down the mountain. So can you just like use an R-class car, just ramp it off the mountain and then just land onto the highway and then just drive the highway into Tokyo?
That would be my strategy, or that's how I'm immediately thinking about this.
Yeah, that's what I was considering trying, but then I didn't, because I got the stars I needed for that season goal. I was like, I'm going to go do all these other season goals. Yeah. Anyway, the third game Rob was playing.
I'm liking that there's. I mean, just a small like comment, I guess, about Forza. Like, I like that there's quite a large number of like rally events in this thing.
Yes.
Like rally seems to like definitely be the like predominant class.
Yep.
I think in this game, and I like that because those are fun.
Because they should just make a rally game.
They should just make a rally game. Yeah. Yeah, the last thing I'm playing is Blueprints, because that's on Game Pass, and a bit of me was just, there was so much talk about it last year, right? Yes. Of this being like, this is an incredible game, and I'm like, eventually it sort of, got to the point where it's like, oh, I've got to see what this is.
And I kept threatening to play it, and they never did.
Yeah.
Because it got mentioned on the podcast a bunch.
Yeah, it's been on like the tip of my, like, I'm going to play this for a long time. So I just pulled. I needed a game that I can play in the evenings that doesn't make me feel hot.
Sure.
While it's hot. And so Blueprints is quite good at that. So for those that don't know, it is a rogue-like kind of game, but the idea is you're going into this house where the rooms don't exist yet, and as you open a door, you get to pick, you get drafted a set of rooms that you could put in that grid spot, and the idea is the game's plot is to discover the 46th room, whatever the 46th room is, and all I can really see on my map is like the starting point, and there's this mysterious room at the top called the antechamber, which appears to be fully blocked off. I don't really know how to get into it. I'm still at the point where I haven't ever got into it. I've got right next to it, but I've never made a room that can connect to it. Because that's kind of the game. It's kind of knowing what the deck could drop, what the available rooms are, and thus, from the pools you get given, like knowing how to put them together to work your way through the house to get up there. But then this is like, I've played it for about 4 hours at this point, and I'm not 100% sure I get it yet. I'm not sure why I'm on the same level as people that are saying like, this is an incredible game, this is the best thing ever. Like, there are definitely puzzles. There are definitely there's another layer to this game somewhere.
Well, it's roguelite, right? Because but the roguelite is information.
It's information, yeah.
You're solving the puzzles, but then that's affecting how you arrange things the next time, basically.
In theory, yeah. Like, there are some, like, actual permanent stuff. Like, you might find something in a room, or through knowledge, perform a sequence that lets you see a thing you couldn't see before, and that thing is a code that then unlocks something else somewhere else. Right? There's definitely like, or you might just happen upon, oh, here's an item in this particular room that lets me go do a thing in another room that I've not been able to do before. There are, but then because you've done that, that may unlock a permanent condition. There's some of that going on, and there's definitely a few puzzles where I know there's a puzzle. I just don't know, or I think I've deciphered the answer to a puzzle, but I don't know what the puzzle is yet, if that makes sense, because I don't know if Zach's noticed, but under the controller on my desk right now, the notebook is in play. I'm writing a whole bunch of stuff down, a whole bunch of stuff that I think is actually mostly irrelevant, as it turns out, because the game does kind of encourage you right from the start to be like, hey, maybe writing stuff down's a good idea. Just saying. because this knowledge is power thing. It seems good. It just hasn't necessarily clicked in this like other level kind of way that I'm sort of like, I haven't had my The Witness moment with it, or I haven't had my Fez or Tunic kind of like, this is rad kind of secondary layer of fun. That hasn't really happened for me yet. Maybe it will, but as it stands right now, like it's not like 4 hours in, I'm not getting that buzz. If I'm being perfectly honest, like I'm just not getting that like subversive game buzz or whatever. It's like,
but that is of course the trick of that whole thing. It's like if it's incredibly subversive, you would know until it happens.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe there's something like I just haven't stumbled on it yet. But like, I feel like after 4 hours, maybe I do need a little bit more of a carrot on a stick.
I mean, that's just like, how long is this game compared to Rob's limit of time?
Yeah, what's my patience level? Yeah. At least like with something like Tunic and Fez, like there is something else you're actively doing and feeling a bit more engaged with. And I don't know that the room drafting mechanic is quite on the same level of fun as those, right? Or even the Witness's level of puzzles where it's like, okay, you're always at least making progress in Witness, right? Even if you're just doing the mainline stuff. Gaining information, gaining knowledge on how those puzzles work, right? You know, this.
Yeah, I suppose.
I feel like it felt like more progression there than it feels like here. So I don't know. Like, I'll stick with it and see if it, see if I have that click. But at the moment, I'm not seeing it. Also, there are just certain angles where the game's performance like drops to shit on an Xbox. No. So it's like
weird.
Yeah. There aren't many of them, but there's just a few like places you can go, and it's just like, oh, this doesn't run well. What's going on here?
Maybe that's the secret.
Yeah,
you have to frame lag through something.
Anyway, I'm done.
Well, you've been playing, Zach. Segway time.
Formula 197. I played some of that.
So important games.
Yeah, exactly. I played Monaco at Formula 197. That game's hard at Monaco.
Well, I played more Enfield. This is a additional segue to a video we made yesterday, which might be up potentially next week.
Yeah, I'll do it as our next video. Yeah.
Because I kept saying that, like, you know, there's that time limited mode that was going to expire, and I wanted to make a video before it did. And so we tried to make a video, but even though I had even tried to prepare for this video ahead of time, I still think I did a quite bad job of explaining and showing most of the stuff.
It's dense.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of the problem with gacha games. It's like they are dense in systems. And also, I don't even know that games of that type necessarily explain their own systems to you particularly well.
Well, yeah, maybe. I feel like at least Enfield has. I didn't really show it that much in the video, but like when you're looking at like the skill information, it has like essentially Wikipedia links. Like you mouse over a word that's highlighted, and it brings up another box that explains that thing.
Boxes and boxes.
That was a very loud motorcycle.
That was a very loud motorcycle.
But yeah, I mean, we did that. I attempted to show stuff off. Because the obvious actual problem of trying to show that off is that once you understand the systems because you're physically playing it, it's just like, I'm just hitting a bunch of buttons, which is causing a bunch of stuff to happen really fast.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a bunch of animations going on all the time, and then just things die sometimes. And so without being the person actually physically pushing the buttons, you don't really, it's like kind of difficult to figure out even once you've explained it physically and be like, okay, when you're hitting this thing, it triggers this thing, and then you hit this button to cause this other thing to happen. It's like, unless you're playing it, it's still impossible to really perceive that, I would say, from just looking at it. Especially when it's like, it was funny towards the end where it's like, I was in the difficult fight, and then like, Rob was like, oh yeah, that other guy's here as well. Because I never really got to the part of the combo that triggers him, but he'd always been there because he's like the fourth person in the party.
It's like, oh yeah, I forgot you brought him.
He's here too. But But yeah, I've played much more of that, but it's the last... We got this video up or recorded just in time before that thing expires because we're coming up to the start of the next big patch cycle.
Yeah, so it will have expired by the time the video goes up. Yeah.
But they're clearly going to bring that mode back because it's a thing that original Arknights has done several times, so they're obviously just copying the same concept, essentially. But yeah.
It felt repeatable.
Yes. Yeah. But the next big patch is actually looking like it's going to be quite a big patch, like a real, like main story progress at last. And 2 new areas and like a whole new factory segment with new products and stuff. So it's like, this might be a big one. Are we still ever going to get out of the second area?
Right. Yeah.
Oh, I did hear a rumor from like just some other YouTube video I was watching about it that actually, I think the developers have suggested that actually we might be spending the entire year in this one area. Like that was their original plan. That it was essentially going to be a year per area, with minus the like tutorial area of Valley 4 or whatever, that first segment.
Oh, okay, right. So that first bit was kind of like, it perhaps gave you the wrong impression that you'd be going to more areas more often.
That might have been just because it was almost designed as the tutorial to set everything up.
Yeah.
So yeah, my complaint of spending too long in this area might continue for the entire rest of this year, it turns out.
Right.
But then, knowing that, I'm like, well, now it seems like we're going to the North Wheeling Exclusion Zone too soon. Like, that is the big problem that we've been hinting at this whole time, but now we're going there, apparently. So who knows how that will turn out. Maybe there'll be some dramatic turn where everything will get even more fucked than it already is.
Inevitable.
Yep. And then the standard patch stuff, 2 new characters and all that guff. Don't know which one I particularly want out of this next pair, because as I mentioned in the video, it's like as free-to-play currency goes, you can more or less keep up with 50% of the characters, plus a couple of extra ones from luck. So it's like, which one of these next 2 do I want? Do I want the woman who's now not in a coma any longer, who has cool, like weird laser guns as her weapon? Or do you want the, essentially, like, idol singer, who's another healer apparently? And I think the answer might be the cool laser lady, because like healers actually aren't very important in Enfield except for in very specific cases. Like you might have noticed in this video when you watch it, it's like I never used a healer.
No. I mean, I did notice your health go up sometimes, but like,
yeah,
I didn't quite see how.
Yes, I think I might have still been using. Is that the like the armored night woman? Her counter combo heals you as well.
Oh, okay.
Like she has a little bit of healing, but she's not really a healer.
It's just a bonus to not really a character trait.
Yes, she's classed as a defender, so like that is her defending part of the class, whereas the ones that are healers are they're not defender class, they're more like support class, I think. So they are more full heals. But yeah, most of the time you don't even need healers unless you're doing the really hard stuff. Because obviously in that mode where...
Like crack.
Yes. That mode where you can essentially turn off the healing in that whole 4-wave thing. Like, maybe you do want a healer in that party so you can get a heal at any point. Or alternatively, just don't get hit.
Well, yes. Get good.
Yeah. So anyway, that's Enfield. I finally got round to doing the latest expedition in No Man's Sky, which it turns out there's not much to it, so like it didn't actually take that long, and it wasn't super interesting. But it's like it's a new space combat thing where they've introduced another big thing that you can fight in space, but it's not super different from the freighter fights in how it really functions. Like you fly inside the shield and shoot specific things off it, and then it explodes.
Again, another thing I've not seen.
Yes.
Another 2 things I've not seen.
The only slightly interesting thing about it is that, like, I don't know if this is going to continue after the context of the expedition, whether this will just be a thing that can happen sometimes randomly in the same way you can warp into one of those freighter fights. But, like, this new enemy directly attacks the Atlas stations and tries to blow them up.
Oh, interesting.
Although, you know, in that case, the Atlas station is kind of like completely defenseless because it's not like it's not a ship. It doesn't have any guns or anything. So it's just like whether you can defeat the enemy quick enough before it blows up.
Right.
It's really just a timer.
Breaks, I suppose.
Yeah. And
But actually, what does happen if one of them blows up?
I don't think anything really changed.
Fine.
I mean, I suppose maybe it's just super inconvenient because, like, the way Atlas stations spawn in the normal gameplay, they're like they're in fixed places. Like, only certain star systems can have it, and they're spread out fairly evenly just because of that's how you're meant to progress through the story. It's like reaching the next Atlas station is usually kind of important. So if you're trying to go down the Atlas route, you want to have your hyperdrive upgraded to jump between those systems as fast as possible or whatever. So it probably would suck if you were trying to get to an Atlas station, but you warped into that fight and then it blew up, and then you'd be like, "Oh shit! Now I've got to do another 6 jumps to get to the next nearest Atlas station."
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, there wasn't really any other real mechanics to it. There's a downed drone of this new fleet that you can salvage, but it doesn't really give you anything different than any of the other salvage jobs or any of the other stuff, really. And the overall rewards from the expedition is like you get another new multi-tool, which I don't know what its specific benefit is. I already have like 3 different really cool upgraded multi-tools that I've been using for ages. It's like I don't need even more of these. Not that I really need any more of anything, like ships or anything. Make an expedition reward an S tier freighter, and then I might, that's the one thing that is not like fully upgraded on my save. I have an A tier freighter that's almost as good as an S tier freighter, and I was like, but I've already spent all the upgrade points on this, so I'm never going to actually replace it with an S tier.
Right, yeah.
The very marginal upgrade you would get from S tier was not worth the hassle of having to re-upgrade it to that point. So anyway, yeah, that was No Man's Sky. Not too much doing there, but I got through it. Also, expeditions, a lot of the expeditions have had this, but the expeditions always run into the problem of having a community goal that the community has to do a certain amount of whatever the expedition requires you to do before it'll unlock the next step, which can be really annoying if you're playing the expedition early in the cycle where it's on the first week or whatever, and you get to that point and it's well, now I literally can't play it anymore. I just have to wait. I can do the grinding to help the community goal, but overall all I'm really doing is waiting for this community goal to get done,
right, yeah,
to move into the rest of the expedition. But in this case, I coincidentally landed exactly at the right time, where it's as I got to the point where it's grinding, the bar had already been filled to 98%, and I was like, oh, it'll be done tomorrow, sweet. So yeah, that was No Man's Sky. And the only other thing I've played just in the last couple of days is Palworld 1.0 has finally come out. So it's time to go back to Palworld.
Some of the Pokemon are slightly less Pokemon-y.
Some of them are kind of more Pokemon-y.
Oh.
So they've added a bunch of new ones and reshuffled them.
They're getting bold, are they?
Yeah, I think they might
After surviving
Because
Nintendo lawyers.
So they add some new ones and shuffle them around, and right at the starting area, one of the new ones is the Pokemon is a fire dog thing, and it has a stick in its tail, and maybe this is just one of those other Japanese reference things in the same vein as Tanukis or whatever, where it's the stick in the tail thing might just be a reference culturally, but they've basically made their version of a dog with a stick in its tail, only it's not fire.
Okay.
That's the only difference. Basically the exact same thing. But yeah, I was like, oh, that's looking quite a lot like with this other Pokemon again. But they're done with that problem, basically.
Yeah. Derivative work.
Yep. So I went back in there and started the new save again, and it's really not super substantially different in terms of the same jank and the same way you progress through it. They've tried to smooth out the progress a little bit by reducing some of the targets. Instead of the capture target being 12 of the same thing, it's now only 5. I feel like that might even be a bit too low. They might have overcompensated in the other direction to only have to capture 5 of anything. Especially because the whole thing about capturing multiple powers is later on you're going to have the machine which mushes them together into, to make them stronger or whatever. Although I think they balanced that down as well in a previous patch. You didn't need as many to combine together to level them up. So, like, maybe this is just balancing the capture goal down towards how much they balance down the combination goal. Because it used to be like, capture 128 of these things and then mash them into one to make it as good as it can be.
I see.
And I think they've also rebalanced, like, I think they've added a bunch new passive skills and rebalanced how frequently different passive skills spawn, which is like the randomness of the powers, essentially, when you're capturing them. That's why you'd want to capture multiple anyway, to, like, get different passive buffs. And then the passive buffs also are kind of important for the breeding system, where it's like you combine different powers to transfer the passive buff onto the ones that you want. So it's like you can get a power where it's like, oh, it's got the passive buff that makes it better at working in the base, but this power isn't very good at working in the base. But if I crossbreed it with a power that is good at working in the base and pass on the passive buff, then I can move that passive buff to a power that I actually want, or whatever.
Okay. Right. And crossbreeding's totally fine.
Yeah, mostly.
Totally fine.
Well, the thing that I only just barely got into the last time I played it is, like, the crossbreeding is weird because in Pokemon, the species of the egg, like the baby that comes out of the egg, is the mother's species, and then the father can be anything, providing it's compatible. And in Pokemon, that's based on, like, this hidden, well, not really hidden, but only in the Pokedex, like, shape. Like, what shape the Pokemon is determines what other Pokemon it can breed with. So if they're two that are the same shape, they're compatible, even though that they're not the same species. So then in Pokemon, the mother determines the species. And then in Palworld, that's partially true, but then there's, like, certain combinations of specific pals will make a completely different species when they breed. So you can, like, there's this hidden tree of, if you find which specific combination, you can sometimes, like, skip ahead to find pals that you're not going to see for a while, or, like, breeding them this way is the only way to get this specific version of this pal, and sometimes it's, like, a specific elemental version of a pal or whatever. So yeah, there's, like, a hidden system in their breeding system that's, like, probably you're just going to end up looking at the wiki.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, it's just, like, there's been...
For some reason, that was reminding me of, like, the trials of trying to get the different coloured pinatas.
Yes, it's kind of like that.
How on earth do I do this?
It doesn't require nearly as much, like, because the whole point of the pinatas was that you had to do very specific things. It wasn't just like, get these two things to breed. It was like, they have to breed while standing near this one specific item or whatever.
And for the colours, it was like you have to feed them this thing, and it's like, but there was absolutely no way of knowing what that thing was. Like, so you had to feed them everything.
Yes, and that was kind of before the age of wikis, almost, sort of.
Yeah,
it was a console game also, so it didn't really. You don't really think of that automatically like you do with a PC game.
Sure, I guess. I think you do now.
Yes, you do now. And then the other thing that they've also, to go along with the passives, they've gone through and reworked basically all the partner skills for the pals to make them much more actually worthwhile in a lot of cases. Like, because the partner skills, you have the ones that are, like, active skills where it's like, they sit on your head and shoot a gun or whatever, and those kind of things. But then you've got a lot of the ones that are passive partner skills, not the passive skills, but the passive partner skills have been made more worthwhile to be, like, buffs that actually matter. Like, here's a passive buff where if you have this pal in your party, you mine, like, 30% better, and the stuff that you mine weighs 80% less.
Oh, wow. Okay, that seems pretty nice.
So put 5 of them in your party.
Yeah.
Although I think that might be one of the ones that doesn't stack.
Yeah. 80% 5 times. Seems quite good.
But I think I think there's one where it gives you a buff to your mining that does stack, so you can still get, like, 25% better mining 4 times, and then the one that makes it weigh 80% less on the 5th slot.
Right, yeah.
So it also encourages it to make it so you actually have specific PAL teams to do specific things.
Right, yeah.
Like when you're going to go and just mine a bunch of ore, bring
the mining team.
Bring your mining team with you.
Yeah, I guess, rather than just always carrying, like, hard combat team with you.
Yeah. And then, there's some other bits and pieces of polish, like all the boss fights and stuff are a bit more sane, balanced, and like I think they'd had a little cutscene at the start and end for a while, but now it's just nicer. And the music has been redone in a lot of cases as well.
Mm.
The one thing that I noticed which doesn't seem to have got better somehow is the pathfinding of the powers in the base seems to have got worse somehow. Because when I was building my base, I was replicating a design I've done before where it's like you have a building that has all the craft benches in and shit, and then along the front you have a sort of a porch area, and that was where I was building all the PAL beds where they sleep. And the way I'd had it before, you just have a ramp at like each end to get up onto this like slightly raised porch thing. And that used to work because they could pathfind up the ramps, but now that doesn't seem to work any longer. They just walk up against the edge of the deck and then just like can't figure it out.
Oh, weird.
So I ended up having to put ramps all the way along the whole edge of this raised area to just allow them to get up there. Not that it matters, of course, because they still have that system that I mentioned before where it's just like it doesn't matter. Like at a certain point, if the PAL can't pathfind where it needs to go, it just does whatever it's doing wherever it's standing.
Oh,
it just plays the animation and just ignores the fact that they couldn't actually pathfind.
Yeah, okay.
So before I'd fixed it, they'd all just fall asleep on the floor next to where the beds were off the edge of the deck. It's like, well, it works, but it's dumb, so I'll fix that and at least make it look less dumb.
Do you think that's exploitable in some way? Like,
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I'm sure if you just built a box where all the PALs, especially for sleeping, because I'm pretty sure previously sleeping was one thing that didn't work if they didn't pathfind correctly. Like if they couldn't get to the beds, then they wouldn't properly sleep and it wouldn't recover all their sanity or whatever. But now apparently they can just, unless it was just because they were really close, because it was just off the edge of this deck area.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you
Weird.
could exploit that, and the food as well, I wonder if you can do that with the food, because the food was the other thing that they explicitly definitely needed to be able to pathfind to. But yes, it's got much the same levels of jank. A lot of new items as well, of course, that they've added, not necessarily just this patch, but over time. So, new weird guns and secret weapons and the Terraria crossover that I haven't got the stuff from yet. Actually, there's a lot of, I think there's another, is there 2 more crossovers? It's Terraria, it's Ultra Kill,
and
I think there's a third one. I don't remember what the third one is. But it's just swords, basically. A Terraria sword and an Ultra Kill sword.
They should do one of Serious Sam. Just bring in his minigun.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an appropriate weapon. I think you already get a minigun.
There is a minigun, yeah.
Well, there's a minigun for that one specific PAL ability that's always shown in the box art or whatever.
Right, yeah, the electric-looking dude.
But I think you also can get a minigun yourself. Maybe? I don't remember. I never got to the furthest part of the weapon upgrade tech tree. I think I only ever got to, AKs and stuff.
It still sounds bad every time you say it in this. I know that is this game's whole thing, but also it does sound kind of nuts.
Yeah. I guess I might be playing that in multiplayer shortly because
okay.
We played that in multiplayer previously, and now it's 1.0. So now's the time, right?
Yeah.
Now's the time for people to come back in, make a multiplayer save. Not that being a multiplayer save is even that different from playing it single player, because all the progress is shared, and all the powers are shared also.
Oh.
Because you just it's the base's PAL box, so it's like it's attached to the physical base.
I see.
Although technically it's also not even the base's PAL box, because each individual base can still access the same storage. And then there is a global PAL box that works slightly differently and can transfer between saves as well.
Oh, nice.
And then you have the personal PAL box where you can either lock it to your guild or lock it to fully personal to stop people from stealing your PALs out of the regular box.
Stop stealing my friends.
Yeah.
My friends.
And I mean, if we do get into multiplayer, I might make an argument to see if we can turn on the like start location randomization, because obviously it's a fully open world, but it's still like leveled in a way that, like, you know, you're going to find high level enemies as you progress into the map or whatever. So it's mainly balanced around the, you know, standard starting area. But I think for the multiplayer specifically, because it's designed for servers with like a lot of people, there is like a you know, spawn in the different starting zones around the map option. And I don't know how, you know, well balanced that is for like what powers you're going to find or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But that would make it more interesting. Or, you know, you could just turn on the option which randomizes the power spawns.
No.
Make everything just random. And I think that option also maybe has the option for randomizing the leveling as well. Maybe. Because that would make it quite difficult. But like, I think when you randomize the spawns, it randomizes them, but like gives them the level of that area, so there's still like the level progression correctly. So yeah, there's options to make this multiplayer run different. Not that I think it will matter, because we haven't played it in multiplayer for so long, no one will remember how it was in the past. That was Palworld. And I played Rocket League.
Of course.
I think the World Cup in Rocket League is finished, but Saudi Arabia was still winning last time I saw it.
No.
Which maybe tells you something about the player base of that game still.
Right. Interesting.
You can always tell when it's the Arab countries, because they always have like 60 ping. Because it's the in-between distance between the American pings where it's like 100 and our pings where it's like 20.
Sure.
It's like, oh, here's someone from the Middle East with their 60 ping.
Is that just... Surely the Americans would be playing on American servers and they wouldn't have that problem.
Well, I mean, I play on American servers sometimes because it's just like, you know... Well, I don't know if it is legitimately quicker to find a match, but I assume it is, to have that as an option. And as I've said before in Rocket League, I don't even notice the ping most of the time, even with 100 ping.
Wow, okay.
But yes, I guess you can definitely tell when the Middle East players are showing up, because I guess they don't have their own server. Like, as far as I know, I think there's a Asia server, which would probably be as bad a ping for them as it is for the Europe servers. That's all I played, more or less. I mean, there's still... I keep mentioning it, but there's this other game that I still haven't played enough of to talk about, and I've mentioned it on, like, the last 2 podcasts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in suspense.
We'll get there.
Maybe.
Mystery game. What, you think we might never be worthy of talking about?
Well, it might never be... Well, I think it's probably worth talking about. It's just whether I can convince myself to continue playing it. It's only a demo, also, so it's not like I'm missing out on a full game that I've purchased or anything, but we'll see.
Okay.
Even if I don't play it again, eventually I might just give up and talk about it on the podcast, because it's still kind of interesting from the bit that I did play.
Okay. Suspicion. Look, the carrot has been hooked.
For the third time.
Yeah. More carrot. Carrot's growing.
Dan, did you play anything?
Well, playing bits of Donkey Kong and Indiana Jones. But honestly,
Two very similar games, clearly.
A lot of digging.
Yeah. And Tokyo Extreme Racer. But due to GTA 6 hype, I'm back on the Red Dead Redemption 2.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
But shouldn't you be like saving up for your hype for that type of game by like not expending your time playing that type of game?
That's the thing. I don't know, maybe. It's long enough away. It's November. And it's different enough. But like, because the thing about Red Dead Redemption 2, like the first time round, is like, even though the story and the characters and everything are definitely like a step up, like even from Grand Theft Auto 5, I think it definitely is.
Sure.
But it's also depressing.
Yeah.
The story. Like, and I thought that the first Red Dead did a good job of the kind of cowboy fantasy, I'm Clint Eastwood in The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, this is so cool stuff, right? Combined with the redemption stuff. And of course, Red Dead 2 is like, everything's always going wrong, and you're just chased further and further east and south, and it's like, I wanted a Western. What is it? What are we doing in New Orleans? What the fuck? Anyway, but but on a replay, it's like, you know what's coming or whatever, and I can kind of appreciate the, for what it is. And it is, like, there aren't many games that tell a grand, epic, super depressing story like this.
Sure.
So it is something to, but it has meant on previous replays, I've kind of stopped. And then there's a famous thing where people totally understand. They don't want to leave the first camp in the game because that's like the nice one.
Yeah, it's Happy Town.
And Valentine's there. It's like happy time relatively because you come down from the game starts in the mountains, so it's sort of snowy and everything's messed up. But then there's a relatively happy time at that first camp or whatever. And you're going into Valentine, getting drunk in the saloon and stuff. A lot of people don't want to move because the next camps on get sort of progressively more and more bedraggled or whatever until you end up. And now we're finally there. Beaver Hollow is like, it's like next to a cave in the middle of like Appalachia with all these like weirdo psychos, like, I don't know. And everyone hates each other and it's all falling apart and all this stuff. And of course, spoilers for 10 years old game now, but you know, your character gets sick, right?
Yeah.
And
the coughing. The coughing.
Yeah. The coughing. And it's like, that's not like a video game power fantasy, you know, I'm Clint Eastwood, I'm super cool fantasy thing. That's a like, oh dear. Things are getting depressing.
It's coming.
Yeah, but I'm so this last time around I had stopped before, you know, there's a bank robbing mission that goes wrong and people get killed or whatever, and it's like, okay, I'll stop before this point before it starts to get really depressing. But now I'm like, yeah, but it's really well written. Like you know, and I don't mind. And actually, there's plenty of, I'd forgotten, but there are plenty of fun missions even in when everything's going horribly wrong. I mean, the Donkey's criticism is it becomes, the first time round, is it becomes like, because the combat isn't that great. Like the aiming is annoying and the cover system is messed up. They never really nailed that. I wonder if it's even possible to do. I'll see if I was making GTA 6, with all infinite resources and lots of time, I'd assign like an entire team just to do the cover system.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
So I have no idea. We'll see. But,
it does beg the
question. Criticism is that, it becomes like a lot of shooting galleries towards the end. Like there's a lot more of, which is definitely true. But the writing is, you know, that's the conclusion of the epic story. So it is cool to see what's happening with all the characters and stuff, even as everything's falling apart. Like it's a tragedy. So they're the greatest, you know, like Shakespearean tragedies are the best Shakespeare plays, aren't they? And stuff. So yeah. But it is, I know it's become a meme, but it is quite noticeable just how much Dutch says the exact same thing. He always says, I have a plan. Oh, yeah. He always says, we just need money. And he says it 50 times. I have a plan. We just need more money. Tahiti. That's the thing, apparently. The voice actor, everyone screams Tahiti at him, apparently. Recognize him. But yeah, but that open world, man, it's insane how beautiful it is. Like, it's ridiculous. And nothing's, well, I don't know how you even. So, yeah, it was great. So I'm going to play through to get to because I know what's coming and that there's an epilogue, which is a bit happier. So I'll get to that before GTA 6.
Yeah, the epilogue's like a game in itself always. Like, it's pretty long.
Yeah. But it's the same. We know what they need to do for GTA 6. They need to make the core gameplay of driving and gunning fun.
Yeah, I mean,
funner.
Yeah, because I was going to ask, like, what do you think is the route they'll take? Like, because that was sort of the evolution from 5 to Red Dead to Red Dead 2, right? Or the other way around, right? Red Dead to 5 to Red Dead 2.
Yeah,
like the immediacy and directness of the control kind of ebbed away a little. Like it wasn't. It was all right in GTA 5, right? But it wasn't as direct feeling as it was in Red Dead.
Yeah, I would agree.
And 5 was definitely the driving is easier. Over 4.
Yeah, 4 definitely had a lot of input lag and was very emphasizing the rage physics. But I thought 5 lost something by de-emphasizing the rage physics, like for example, in the driving, whatever. So I'm hoping that 6 is a bit in between the arcadiness of 5 and the kind of crazy physicsiness of 4. But in terms of the shooting,
4 had almost too much
I think my
physics.
favourite.
Like I remember I remember the cars feeling more like they should have been in a 70s themed game, right? The way the suspension went on them and stuff like that. It's like, but
a lot of the early cars were kind of old bangers from like the 70s. They kind of felt like, even though it was set in modern times. But yeah, it's true. And they can't do that for 6. So, although that classic muscle car from GTA 3 or whatever is in the GTA 6 trailer, right?
Right.
The Sabre or whatever. I have to keep that going. But yeah, so I really don't know but that seems like the obvious thing is you've got to tighten up the shooting. Like, remind me, is in like Gears, you press a button to go into cover, right? And then you press a button to leave cover, or do you hold the button?
I think you can do both. Like, generally, you're running towards cover, though, right? If you're roadie running towards cover you're
already holding down the button.
You're already holding
snaps onto the cover.
Exactly, yeah. It's just part of your run, and it just goes.
Right.
And then normally you would move to the edge of cover and tap A, right, to pop to the next bit of cover. Like, you not that often you actually just jump out of cover in Gears. Except for perhaps when you're doing going into another run, which means holding the cover button, right, to stab someone with your chainsaw.
I mean, that is sort of what was considered the traditional way it worked, because like that is the same in like Mass Effect 2, right? Because you go in the cover and then if you push forwards and hit them jump over the cover button, you just jump over it.
You jump over it and then you're out of cover. Yeah.
But I think for GTA, they either need to drastically improve the cover, which is obviously a very hard technical problem because of the dynamic nature of the world compared to, old Gears. I don't know about what new Gears, but you know what I mean.
Well, in fairness, like all
taking cover behind cars that can move and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, all the Gears was the same until E-Day seems to be mixing it up, right, with its different heights of cover. Either
do that or, and I don't think they will, ditch cover completely and just make it like Max Payne.
Sure, yeah.
Which they made Max Payne 3, and that played better than any GTA in terms of shooting. So yeah. So, I mean, there's no way to know, is there, what they'll do? But I mean, we'll soon find out, I guess.
It's almost the most important thing, almost.
I mean, the thing that I hate the most in these very set-piece missions, right, is when because you're basically playing a role, right? You're like an actor in the scene, basically. And when you don't know it doesn't give you enough warning of what you're supposed to do, it just kills all the tension in the scene if something goes wrong because you were meant to do that quick time event or something. Yeah, it's like they need to fix that shit.
It's a perennial Rockstar problem that they've never solved.
It really is.
There'll be a tiny little pop-up in the corner of the screen that actually has the single most crucial piece of information you need that you might not have read in time before it disappears.
Yeah. They've got to find a way to make that better.
Yeah,
so
agree.
Who knows?
Yeah. It's a huge problem, and it always has
when
been.
It works. And oh boy, that open world is insane. I think it might be because of the nature of the Red Dead one being the natural world, that it suited like the lighting and the technology of the time. So the hope is that like now that ray tracing and stuff has come along, that the GTA 6 will be at a time of tech that it will then, given the amount of efforts put into it, that it will then last. Because we're at like 8 years or something. When did Red Dead 2 come out? 2018? 2017? 2018? So we're at like 8 years or something.
I think it was mid-gen Xbox and PS4, right? Because it came out around the time One X came out as a console, right? Because there was a One X. It ran well. That was the best place to play it for a while, was Xbox One X.
So, and it looks great. So I'm hoping that GTA will continue to look good for many, many years. Yeah, because there won't be another one for a while.
Where are you playing it? Did you plonk
I'm on the
for
PS5,
the PC version? Okay.
I'm on the PS5, but the base PS5. But there's no like official PS5 version,
right?
So it must be like patched or something to just run. I think it runs at...
Is it running at 60?
It's not running... I don't think so. I think it's just up-resed.
Just 4K.
Continues. Yeah, I think it's 4K 30.
Yeah, because it was, if I remember rightly, like I played the PS4 Pro version, and that was like 4K checkerboard rendering. Yeah, if I remember rightly.
I think that this is like full 4K, I guess.
Okay.
30 on the PS5. I think.
So a little improvement. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not like a PS5 edition, and there's no like. I mean, there's speculation that I highly doubt that GTA 6 will have a performance mode versus a quality mode. I think there'll just be one mode, which will be 30.
4K checkerboard. It might have been 1440. Yes, because One X could do native 4K. That was its thing. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway, it's still a pretty good looking game on that platform. In fairness.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to see what it looks like on a PC at 4K 60 or whatever. But,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
maybe someone's patched some ray tracing in at this point.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it will make way more difference in the kind of city with the cars and everything, with all the class buildings.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I sort of said, I think when I first started playing Forza Horizon 6, right? Like, I do think like global illumination tech, like it like makes a difference to how like a forest thicket feels, right? And there's a few of those in Red Dead, so
well, whatever they're doing looks really good, even if it's old techniques.
Yeah,
in Red Dead.
I mean, yeah, it's
like
probably just very well baked lighting. You know, they thought about it. Like,
yeah. But it's dynamic because it's, it's not just time of day, it's weather as well. The weather is quite extreme in it, I mean, it looks amazing when there's a storm and, the trees are swaying and everything. And they really, and leaves are blowing around and stuff. It looks amazing when there's a big storm.
Yeah, good animation work.
Crazy. Mad. Yeah, that's me. I think. And that's the podcast. What have we got on the... Oh, we've got an Enfield video coming up.
Yeah,
we've also got Skies of Arcadia.
Yes, indeed. We've got stuff in the hopper. There will be more Skies. There will be more Enfield, for sure.
Well, more than zero.
More than zero, yeah.
More than zero. More than there is now.
I mean, there's another video we've got in the hopper as well, which we'll need to schedule at some point. And, yeah. We've got content. I'm backed up with content. I'm the exact opposite of my Friday night before the Grand Prix. Like, I'm backed up this time. I'm not free flowing.
Fully backed up. All right. Well, check out all our content, and the backed up stuff will flow onto our YouTube channel. Happy Salad. So check that out if you're not grossed out. And we'll be back with another podcast like this one in a couple of weeks.
I'll make a brown intro just for you.
Please do not.
Thank you. Please don't. Bye.